There's supposed to be scary scenes, but they just make fun of them. Anyway, it's funny. They make fun of a lot of alien movies. Well, I saw it when I was a kid. It's I think it's a 90s movie. Yeah, I'm shocked actually. Look it up. I might look it up for you right now. I mean, right now. Let me see. Men in Yak. Wait a minute. Ain't no way.
I'm going pee.
Okay, so it's a 1998 parody film. Yeah. It's a spoof of Men in Black and Independence Day. It has Tom Wilson and Karen Prince. Yeah. Maybe I can play a trailer on YouTube. Yeah, I was looking at that too. I was like, there ain't no way, because I know it's got color in it. it was, I know it was the 90s because it had a color in it. Oh yeah, it's actually free on YouTube apparently. Yeah, the 1998 film, the parody is actually on YouTube for free. I think if you have a YouTube subscription maybe. So you don't even have to pay any money for it, it's free. I haven't seen that movie in long. Yeah, how did you not see it?
I could use a little vacation. Guess who's back? Back in town. There you go. Television. You have to work on that. Need more work for us, but, I'm always down for, propagation. Uh, tigers with bad dentistry? Frederick is saying that they can't hear you, host.
I'm sorry, I hard muted it because Iron Man was hearing all our truth.
Hearing
But now we're
behind the
back.
scenes, and you
Okay,
can't look behind the curtain, dude. Do not
Let me
look
start
behind the
all
curtain.
over again since nobody heard anything. Welcome back to quarantine camps. But we're not going there. But hey, wait a minute. How did Frederick know I said television? Did you say television? Maybe Pious Elder said it.
I did.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, that's real weird. You're hearing my remote viewing.
That could happen.
Anyways, welcome back to the Matrix Network, subsidy of Toilet Time Television. But we're back.
Chronovision.
I forgot actually what I was saying. So I don't know what I was.
You were talking about quarantine camps.
Yeah, no, but I said something else.
We're talking about toothless bagels.
Oh yeah,
toothless
hey,
bagels.
do you guys know what a toothless Bengal is?
And I had said I think it's a tiger that has bad dentistry.
Yeah, schizoid. Anyways, hopefully everybody's ready for another jam-packed episode here at the Matrix Network.
I love how it looks like I'm going bald.
Well, you said you had a
Yeah,
toupee.
it looks like you got a. It looks like
Yeah.
you got a real close shave on the old noggin there.
It's
You're
an
becoming
optical
like a monk?
illusion.
I think you're becoming a monk.
Well, now you look like that Walmart version of Eminem. I already know. Now that's what people are going to say.
That's cool.
Or Slim Shady.
So in some
Alternate universe.
no, in some angles, I actually look like I'm balding.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
mind
there you
it.
go. Look at we can see your.
I've been
noggin
waiting
there.
for the excuse one day to go bald.
What's
Are you
that,
gonna shave
what's that
it
hole
off?
on top of your head there?
That's where my brain was supposed to be.
Are you going to become a Tibetan monk?
No.
Okay. I mean, I didn't.
That's
I
a pretty
didn't add
slick
the
haircut you
tools.
got there, colleague.
Thanks.
My wife won't let me get a buzz cut.
Well, that's not going to happen. Some reason my other tool didn't propagate, but
Well, one of these days, you could get a haircut and get it tattooed. Get the hair tattooed on your head. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, you just
Yeah.
shave it all off. I mean, you go bald and hair.
Yeah.
And then when your hair grows back, so you still have real hair, but it's gonna look a lot more fuller.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So you don't look like this.
I was reading a document that was saying Rogaine is actually, it does the opposite.
I could see that.
I was
So
thinking
it's
about
like
trying
Nair?
it on my legs.
Yeah. That's an idea.
Yeah, like put some Nair on first, and then put on Rogaine on the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're killing me.
I could do it live.
I was thinking about
You're
going and
killing me,
living near a
Smalls. You're
nuclear
killing
waste
me.
plant.
Oh
Huh?
yeah.
Said you're killing me, Smalls.
I'm not very small, but I'll take the compliment. Yeah, which one? Which one?
Nuclear waste plant? There's a bunch of them all over the U.S.
I know, but you have any like particular that has your fancy?
Any of them? I'm not picky. But that way I can
You're
start.
trying to get superpowers?
That's what I was thinking. I might get a third arm.
You
I
know,
think
they
that'd be
still
kinda cool.
have, like, if you go to Goodwill and you look for those old clocks that have, like, the glow-in-the-dark pieces,
That's radio.
those are radioactive.
Yeah, it's because it's supposed to tell you what time it is.
Yeah, time to fry.
Yep. I think it'd be cool to have a third arm.
Would you chew on it? Suck on it?
No, I'd just use it.
Where
what
would
else
the third
you...
arm be, though? Would it come out your back?
I'm not talking about your arm. I'm talking about
Anywhere.
the clock.
Oh, either or. I'd probably use my third arm to hit the alarm
But you
button on
got to
the
get
clock.
the clock first so you can get the third arm. So then you can tell us what time it is.
Would it come out like the top
Probably.
of your head? Like,
With your
where would
third
you
eye.
want this arm?
I don't know. I don't know.
Where would be the
I
best
haven't
place?
thought that far ahead. I mean, I guess if I'm gonna do that, I may as well get 4, so I could be like Stitch, like Lilo and Stitch. I could have
I love
2
that.
arms
Yeah,
on
when
each
he
side.
pops out and. I love
Yeah,
have a
that.
hair-
that'd be kind of cool. That way I can pull up my pants with one set of arms, and I can actually drink my coffee with the other set of arms. Like I hold the little
That's
plate.
useful. Yeah.
Well, they already make that. Jizz AI.
Oh yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Look it up. Jizz AI. I'm not making it up. Jizz AI. They actually make a backpack that has 4 arms that connect with the fluidity of your current arms, and yeah, you can have an extra 4 limbs. Jizz
So you
AI.
could be like Doc Ock.
Yeah, but some states don't have the rights to bear arms. So
Well, you just say you're not
Or to
human,
arm
right? You
bears.
gotta identify as a robot.
no,
What are they gonna
that's
say
not
now?
I think it's in the middle.
It was fine. I mean,
It's
everything else
equally
was
fair.
open game.
They're gonna tell
think.
Doc Ock to
You're gonna say
leave.
Gangnam style.
They're gonna say They're gonna tell Doc Ock to go take a walk. That's what they're gonna do.
Let's say, yeah, well, I identify
Yeah.
as a table.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Hey,
You want
listen,
nothing to do with that.
Put your coffee
Just
on.
wondering,
You want to
would
listen?
you guys have any qualms to me starting to read the chat?
No,
Because
go
it
ahead.
is still up.
Elder
You wanna
Pious,
listen?
Elder Pious in the house.
You know Phil up.
You
And it's
wanna
in the
listen?
chat. Let's start off with the man who was peeking behind the curtain, Iron Man Bill
Oh, you're
Dank.
talking about Jerome
Iron
Powell?
Man
He
Metal
ain't there
Bill
no more.
Dank said top of the toilet tank. He was jumping in there early, as was I, to see what was happening. So
You
appreciate
said
you
Papa
getting on there,
toilet
Bill.
tank?
He said top of the toilet
Oh,
tank.
they said Papa. I was like, I like that.
Oh, Papa toilet tank. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
And then
where's
he
David
sent
Zerm?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Doctor Toilet, Doctor Lid. Bill says Bill sent a little emoji of what looked like Saturn, and I asked if that was Saturn or Uranus. He said my anus. Bill, we're so sophomoric.
Oh,
Then
Bill.
Bill says, "Oh, Bill,
Makes
oh,
me want to put
Billy."
my pinky out.
He said the black robes and the compass you wear when you graduate on your head, or all from demonic scene worship, even the judge robes. The
Demonic seed.
scene, like I'm on the scene, dude. The earring and
demonic
the
scene
wedding
ears.
ring was to keep your ear closer to your God, the Lord of the Rings, Saturn. Okay, that was it sounded a little bit like something what's his name would say, King James. It sounds like a little bit of a King James thing there. Then Bill asks, how many Glocks do you own and why? Not clocks, Glocks. And he said, I'm thinking about becoming a radical jihadist. Anyone's thoughts? I think it's a very exciting career, but I don't think it's very long-lived. And it usually ends with a bang.
Sounds good to me.
Let's see. I don't think it's the kind of bang you're thinking of.
Well, I mean, you get severance, right? Like after you're
No,
severed, you get
pieces of your
severance in
body,
heaven.
pieces of your body get severed, but you don't get any severance.
But you get severance
Um,
in the next life. Like that's where you go.
yeah, they never say whether or not those what do you get 72 virgins or whatever, whether they're good looking or not.
Like the Quran says it is that the virgins
Is
are
it?
good looking,
Are they?
You know, if you came
luscious
back,
breasts, luscious hair.
you know how they talk
brown
about
eyes.
people come back like they're reborn.
Reincarnation?
Not like so much that like you come back as a giraffe or a tadpole or a sperm
Yeah,
egg
that's
or something.
reincarnation.
I'm talking about more like if you came back into another person's body. So let's say you
Oh,
lived.
the egg theory.
Yeah. So let's say you lived this life as like a worshiping like what's some random belief system. I don't know. Let's say a pantheistic belief system, right? I guess that would work. And then you came back and you were reborn. Would you try a different religion?
Well, if we were to come back and we knew we were coming back, that would kind of invalidate Christianity. So
I didn't
that
say
would
that.
be
It's
a
like
big
let's
blow
say you
for
just
me,
believe in
but,
some. Let's say you're a radical jihadist, and then you came back in the body again. Would you try a different religion now?
well, I think if you didn't get your 72 virgins, you'd be pretty ticked off.
Well, I mean, you came back. You got another chance to live a life.
Yeah, but you're supposed to get the 72 virgins in the beginning, and if
Well,
you
maybe
didn't,
you did, but you know so fast because you know you're a one pump.
so you didn't get a chance. You didn't
lump
get a chance to enjoy
that,
all
you
the
know,
72 virgins.
72 virgins happened in like 72 seconds. So now you came back.
Yeah, that would be pretty disappointing.
I mean, you did deed. Oh, I thought about that. Let's say you had a faith system, you believed something, and you came back. You know, would you do the same faith system again? Would you believe the same thing?
Well, if it was based on reincarnating, yeah, I guess you would.
No, let's say
If it
you're
was
like an
not based on it,
atheistic scientist, and you came back and you had another chance. Would you still try to pursue atheistic scientific materialism?
I guess that depends on the person, but you would think logically, if people even do think logically anymore. I don't think so. But you would probably say, well, the last one didn't really work as I expected, so let me try another one.
Yeah, I always thought about that.
Try it until you buy it. I don't know. So back to the chats. And Iron Man Bill says, "Your life, colleague. Live. Can hear you, nerds. Go pee. Don't talk any crap about me. We can hear you." And then it shifts over to Noah Cloud. What's up, Noah? Insane in the membrane. Indeed. And Bill says, "I've seen Cypress Hill live more than a few times." All right. Then Frederick is on. Hello, Frederick. We haven't seen you in a while. Good to have you back. And he says, "Guess who's back? Yo, yo, yo. Dimitri Oswald. Television. Host is not heard. Fix mic. Colleague 2. And then I said, Slim Shady. Frederick said, LOL. Colleague looks like a Jew. Wow, that's wow. Okay, that's
I've actually
I guess
gotten
'cause
that
it looks
before.
like you have a yarmulke on. That's what it looks like. Because we can't see your toque correctly. So it looks like you have on a yarmulke. This is interesting. Let's see. Skim Shady. No, Sklim Skitty. That's okay. Sklim Skitty. Yo 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 says Brian Rod. All right, Brian. Colleague has tattoos for hair. Well, we were talking about that actually, so that's pretty on the mark there. And then what do we got here? Things popped up again. I hate when that happens. Oh, crappity crap. Then Sklim Skitty again. Okay, yo yo yo. Fa. Frederick says fa. Fa. I kind of like saying that. It's fun. Fa.
It almost sound like you're speaking Arabic.
Brian Rod says, colleague has tattoos for hair. All right, I just got that. And Frederick says, I actually have Zendaya fatigue. Yeah. A little bit too much Zendaya for you, huh? She's very prolific right now, especially if you're a nerd, because you're seeing her in Dune, you're seeing her in Spider-Man. Um, Iron Man says, put a little bit of Joe Rogan on my legs. Oh, I put a little bit of Joe Rogan on my legs. Wonder what's going to happen there. Should be interesting. Um, Brian Rod says, did you guys see Trump called out FIFA? Yeah, he was whining about some red cards being thrown.
It's the first time in all FIFA history
That they
that
actually
a
walked
red
one back.
card ever got recalled ever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was a double-edged sword, because if they brought him back, because it's one of the best players that the United States had. So if they brought him back, they would say, oh, the only reason you're good is because of this player. If they didn't bring him back, then they would have said, well, you guys suck so bad, the only way you could have won is with this player, and that's why you guys suck so bad. So either way, it was a lose-lose. So I was like, whatever Trump tried to do, all it did was amplify this player and make America seem like – but America lost.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you proved. It's like, all right, so you forced FIFA to do something that nobody
flexing.
in this world.
He was just flexing.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's the ultimate epitome of cheating.
Well, all I can say is, I think I mentioned this to you guys earlier today, that it was just nice to see all the folks coming from all over the world coming to the U.S. for the World Cup, and them being so impressed with the United States. They were pleasantly surprised. They said every place was nice. The people were kind. They had a good time, good food. It's just nice to hear some positive stuff about America instead of this constant, America stinks, America stinks. It was nice. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there, a little bit of positive news. Frederick says, hey, Iron Man. And Frederick also says, want a Fight Club N? And Noah says, plunger jousting Fight Club. Oh, I like that. I like the sound of that. Bicycles or motorcycles is the question.
Tricycles.
Tricycles. Oh, my goodness. Now you're talking.
Forget it. I'll take a bicycle with training wheels.
Yeah, that's good too. You know what would be really cool if we had like some sort of like once a year or something, like we picked a spot and had like a reunion kind of thing where everybody from the show would kind of like meet in this one spot, and we could just kind of have a little craziness and do crazy things. And
a lot of influencers do that. They have millions of followers and it goes viral because one person shows up.
Yeah, well, we don't have millions of followers, but I'll tell you right now, the followers we do have are loyal. And if we did something like that, those folks would show up, because that's what the Matrix Network and that's what Toilet Time Television is all about. It's about
put
commitment.
A wager on it.
Yeah, I'll bet you $1. Let's see, where are we at here? Iron Man says sophomore is Greek for wise fool. That kind of makes sense. Second year of high school, you pretty much are a wise fool. And he says, or you can get IDF training dogs to grape you. It's a little weird. When they get virgin wool from ugly sheep. That's pretty good. Frederick said, did Elder just fart? No, I did not, but thank you for asking. Brian Rod says, has Elder woken up from the last live? Things were pretty heated up. Woken up. Well, I'm here. I'm real. And quite frankly, I'm a delight. Let's see. Iron Man says, I'm down with Flock Club. What happens to Flock stays with us. And Frederick says, I'm with Flick Club, enjoying the movies, I guess. Brian Rod says, better than the FAP Club, I guess. Okay. Frederick says you deserve to feel like a princess. um, Iron Man says Fook Flock.
It's
And he says, who's silly enough to believe in beings from another planet? Um, and then he said, who queefed? And that, friends and followers,
Look,
brings us up to
man,
date
you
on
know,
the chat.
where are you guys from? Are you guys even human? What are
They
you
may be
even
asking
talking
the same
about?
thing about us. I don't know.
This is about as effective as this thing you're going to see this week. Like I can't even think. Like what is this? I was like, man, this is
first
good.
word
This
that
is
comes to
good
your mind?
technique. This is excellent
Help me.
technique.
This is good television.
Yeah.
Help me.
Are you on the live chat, Elder?
Am.
Okay. I was wondering.
I've kind of learned my lesson, I think.
We talked a little bit about this before we went live. And, this is going to segue into something just as a preface icebreaker. For those who believe that aliens could be real, how do you answer the issue of traveling millions of light years with understanding that you're not traveling at the speed of light? Like, how do you justify an advanced intelligent entity and the ability of an advanced entity able to transfer all the way over here? Like, how do you mesh that in your brain? Assuming the construct that the universe is 17 billion years and understanding how many light years it takes of travel, just from, in the Milky Way, assuming that there's intelligent life in our galaxy. If you say in a different galaxy, that's even more of a quandary, that it doesn't equate almost back to the beginning of the universe. Like, how do you even deal with that? I mean, are you just going to jump straight to warp time or something? Like, or they figured out how to do, donut holes?
No, wormholes.
That's what I'm saying. Is that the only answer we got? If that's the case, I mean, might as well believe in unicorns.
Maybe some of us do.
That's my only quandary. My quandary with advanced civilization that's that intelligent, even if you were that intelligent, you would have to be able to figure that out. That seems like a leap of faith on the God level.
A leap I'm willing to take.
Oh, you believe that?
Well, not everything, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like there could be other life forms out there, non-human biologics.
But would they be so sophisticated and advanced that they figured out how to do that?
Maybe. They might be more primitive than us, so they can't do it, or they might be more advanced than us, but...
Well, just thinking about our technology, if I would give us another 1,000 years, I don't think we're still going to figure out how to do that.
I don't think we're going to exist in 1,000 years.
I know, I'm just saying for theoretical.
I think we're going to exist in 1,000 days.
Yeah, probably not. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would be shocked if we lived for another 50 years.
Think about what you're saying. If you can't even give us that much time, that means you surely ain't giving another civilization that much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's put a pause on that, because what I'm going to try to do is keep up with the chats as they talk about things we're talking about to try to make it a little bit more relevant, if I could. So let me just read a few of these comments because they have to do with what we're talking about. Well, Frederick says no, but I'll pass over that. I don't know what he was saying. Iron Man says, you should have known me when I was a raging alcoholic. I mean, I'm still an alcoholic. I just don't drink anymore. Brian Rod says, I'm from whatever is left from the bottom of the toilet. Iron Man says, okay, here we go. Who says there are millions of light years away? They could be behind the moon. Theoretically, I guess they could be hiding back there. And Pirate Nerd Mom says, negative, I am a meat popsicle. So there's your answer, host, as to whether these people are human, at least Pirate Nerd Mom. Brian Rod says, assuming that they travel that far, what if they don't have to travel at all? Which is interesting.
But what do you mean not travel? You mean like they don't move? They're not bounded by
Or
the
they can
laws
project,
of
yeah, maybe
the
they can project
universe,
themselves. Yeah.
the
Well,
laws of
Brian, I'll
physics.
let you expand on that, but I'm assuming you mean that they have found a means to travel
Now,
beyond
I don't know who
physical.
said that they are behind the moon.
Oh, that was Iron Man.
And
Iron Man
so,
Bill.
you know, the theory behind Bitcoin and Satoshi Nakamoto, one thing is, why haven't those Bitcoins moved? Not even one since the origination of Bitcoin. And that was like, what, back in 2006, 2008? The assumption is because either it's a CIA or they're dead. And I'm using it as an analogy because it prefaces the idea of patience. Bitcoin is worth so much money. For some human being, like if it was a real human, to have the patience of not exposing their access to that kind of money for a decade plus, going on 2 decades, is astronomical to believe. And I say the same thing. If there's real intelligent life forms and they're living behind the moon, yet they have not manifested in a way that was accessible in a more apparent way, that for me also nullifies the belief. It's like believing that Satoshi Nakamoto is still alive. It's possible, but it's hard to believe. It's the same thing, like if they're that accessible, they're living behind the moon, and they haven't revealed to us in thousands of years in a more transcendent, open way, and they've just been secretly been doing this for thousands of years, that is an extreme kind of patience that makes me have a very hard time believing that that's legitimate. It's tenable, it could be true, but it's harder to believe that in a lot of things. If you understand what I'm saying, that patience is very difficult.
Mm. Iron Man says, I mess it in my brain that this is all made up BS to distract us from demons and angels. It's well written out in the Book of Enoch. Frederick says the jinn hypothesis, an Islamic framework for interpreting the modern UFO phenomenon. He said maybe try reading this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people believe that. I'm sure a lot of people believe that aliens are spirits, or jinn, bad spirits, demons, entities. Christians probably believe the same, that demons are like aliens or demons or spirits. They're not physical, like carbon-based life forms, advanced carbon-based entities. But I'm saying, assuming the narrative that there are other carbon-based life forms out there, not spirits, but like carbon-based entities, like we are, and they're advanced. That's a hard thing to believe that they have advanced so far that they figured out how to travel these distances.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's Pirate Nerd Mom says, given the size of of space, I think that there are many other planets out there that contain life, even intelligent life, but they're so far away they can't reach us any more than we can reach them. So that's
assuming that they started, how many, like depending on how many millions of light years it takes. I mean, we're going back to like the development of planets. They say Earth is like 3.8 billion years. Forget the universe. We're going back like to the development of planets. Like they didn't even. Well, my point is, they didn't even have time to become a civilization. Like you first have to have a planet, then you have the time to turn from a primitive civilization to an agrarian, like an agricultural civilization, then modernized civilization, and then advanced civilization, and all of this takes a long time, and then you can finally get to traveling.
Yeah.
And then you got to travel millions of light years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that's a tough one.
Brian is referring back to we were talking about time. He says apparently 58% of Americans don't believe that the USA won't exist in 250 years. They
Oh, talking
don't
about time, I
believe.
think they
Well,
voted to permanently eradicate daylight savings time.
oh, wait a
Like,
minute. Wait a minute. You mean eradicate? They keep daylight savings time year round?
we're gonna have a standardized time year
I'll have to
round.
check that out. That is wonderful, but I hope that we're having daylight savings time year round.
But whatever it is, I think whatever that year jump back and forth, they're getting rid of that.
They're going to stop that stuff. Okay. It just depends on which way we're going to keep. Let's see what else we got down here. Brian Rod said that no, I mean that if they live here already, meaning that they don't have to travel because they're already here.
Oh, like they're
Which
living
is-
in the ocean or something.
in the ocean or maybe under the ground or something where there's a civilization. They're like trying to stay out of the way. It's like I can imagine like their planet was messed up, so they came here, but they don't want to mess with us. So
Same
it's like, we're just
problem.
going to stay down in the ocean.
Same problem.
I know. How do they get here? Right.
Well, no. My problem is patience. Like all creatures, even animals, have a problem with delayed gratification.
Mm.
And these people have to have a supernatural ability of patience.
Yeah. Iron Man says Bitcoin was founded by the CIA, another psyop to launder money to traffic your children. And then Brian brings something interesting up. He says, under us or above us, or just a different frequency. I kind of that's something I hadn't thought about before. Like they're all around us, we just can't. Of course, that was the premise of They Live, right? You have to have the special glasses on to see what the aliens really look like. Have you ever seen that movie?
I haven't seen it, but I want to. Just nobody will watch it with me.
One of the longest fight scenes, I think, in cinema history.
See, it's hard
Sam Keith
because
and Roddy Rowdy Piper fighting and
infrared's a good example. Infrared is a frequency of a light spectrum that we can't see with our eyes, but we know it exists. A simple thing is if you just turn on the black and white feature of any like camera, and there's another light that's infrared, you can see it. But if you go outside, you can't see it. It's just a spectrum the eye can't see. But that's a photon. That's not the amalgamation of humans. That's a photon. So, yeah, there's a lot of photons or light frequencies we may not be able to see, but can it be mass? Can it be protein? Is that able to, can you manipulate proteins, amino acids, cellular structures at a frequency that's unviewable? If you could, then I guess you could make teleportation. You can make a cloaking device without using some kind of layering. Like you could physically be cloaked as a human without wearing any devices if you could just change frequency. You wouldn't have to wear something. But that means you can change the frequencies of your proteins and amino acids and cellular structures. That's kind of strange.
Yeah. Iron Man thinks they're in the ocean. He says, I don't think they're behind the moon. I'm just saying that as a reference to not being millions of light years away.
Think they're octopus?
He says, yeah, well, maybe. Different frequency like a dog whistle. He says, those aliens are here. We just can't perceive them, like Brian said.
Yeah, but dog whistle is an audio frequency.
Yeah.
It's not a physical medium.
Right.
It's just a vibration. Traveling on air. Air is the medium for sound.
Yeah. Then
like picturing air as an ocean.
Bill comes out with an interesting, out of left field. He said, would you rather bang the alien or Sigourney Weaver?
Who?
Sigourney Weaver.
Who's that?
Oh, my goodness. We really need to catch you up.
Have you
ever heard of the movie Alien? Have you ever heard of the movie Alien or Aliens or Alien 3
I have.
or Alien Resurrection?
Yeah.
She is the main character in all of those. She's the woman who's in all of them, Sigourney Weaver. She's Ellen Ripley.
Oh, you're talking about the main female character.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the alien, of course, is the opposite. Anyway.
I mean, if I had a choice, I wouldn't die, I'd go with the alien.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, it's my body, my choice.
I'm saying it's different. I mean, I don't know what that's like. That's an experience. I mean, what is that all about?
I'd like to do with my body what I want.
Well, regardless, it's
like host an alien in your gut.
Everybody can bang a human. The question is what's an alien all about? Like, if I could do it without dying.
Can I abort the alien
die,
baby?
Though. My thought was you'd die.
I mean, if they're going to eat me and put me in a cocoon or something stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not
and
down
use you
with
as
that.
host. Yeah. A real host. You'd become a real host.
Yeah. I'm not down with OPP. Yeah, you know me.
That thing will steam clean you.
Brian says, it's hard for us to believe, but probably just way above for us to comprehend. Frederick says, no Murph, no Murph, no Murph, no.
Yeah, I mean, if they're interdimensional, that's a possibility because...
you know what that reference is from, right, Elder?
No.
Really?
What am I missing?
You've never seen Interstellar?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, the guy he's looking back in time.
He's like in a tesseract.
Yeah,
he's looking back in time at at his daughter. I think his daughter's named Murphy or something, or Murph, after Murphy's Law.
Yeah,
and he's trying to tell her no. And he actually turned out to be the ghost in her bedroom, knocking books off the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but he was like, no, Murph, no. And he's like trying to get her to stop because she was getting ready to, I don't remember exactly. I haven't seen it in a long time.
What she was going to do, yeah. That was good. That was a good reference. And you do a pretty good, what's his name? I forget his name. But the guy who played in that.
I think it's Jack Slade. But,
no.
I do that reference all the time on the show.
You do, and it never quite struck me what.
Yeah, I just assumed. You know, that's on me.
Well, Brian Rod wants to know, what about Stargate?
Are you talking about the data center system? Or are you talking about like
the ancient Stargate? I think he's talking about the TV show, the movie and the TV show.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Stargate.
I don't know nothing about
that. Let's see. Bill says, sound is absolutely a physical medium, and you cannot hear a dog whistle, and it's in our reality, but your dog will respond to it. Why would you want some human booty when you could get some alien booty?
Hold on.
Okay.
We call it cake here on Earth.
Hold on.
Why would you want some human cake and not some alien cake?
The only physical thing about audio is air.
What about recoil?
I'm saying that's it. It's like an ocean.
What about shock waves?
In an ocean.
Oceans have waves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In an ocean, you have waves. But what is the waves made out of? The water. Mm-hmm. The water is the medium. The waves are generated by the water.
And what makes the motion in the ocean?
Audio is the same thing. You just have to picture air as the water, and then you have waves. What are the waves moving? Air. Mm-hmm. There's nothing physical except air when you're talking about audio.
That's why I'm not about the
trouble. There's nothing physical about ocean waves except water.
Water.
It's the same theory about the ether. It's like the old theory is that ether was a medium, and this was what was being moved as waves. So you're moving space and time, and the medium to move space and time was the ether. So the ether is like an ocean. Mm-hmm. That's the old theory of the ether.
I've never been drier.
Everything is waves. But when you want to make something physical,
then you clap the particle.
The material thing, the vibration.
You close the ends.
For us, it's a carbon association, a carbon-based function, the atomic function, the carbon function.
Mm-hmm. For us, it's all chemistry.
And then it's an amalgamation of that. But for sound, it's just air. You're just moving air at different frequencies, different rates of vibration.
Well, there's a lot of other things moving too. It's just science.
Well, that's why when you have cymatics, it makes geometrical shapes, but it's just moving air, and that's what makes the shape in the sand. It doesn't mean those geometrical shapes are real. The air is forming the shape in the sand.
Yeah, the shock kind of moves outward every single time.
But based on different vibrations, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can equate that sound is a material substance outside of air. I do believe air is real.
But you can hear it. It's almost like a...
You can hear it because the vibrations it's just like when a wave hits your body, the air hits your ear at a certain frequency that you have correlated with a certain sensation. And your auditory cortex makes that as a sensation.
You get whiplash.
And, hertz, like how many times the speaker makes a cycle. So you 20 hertz, you get 20 moves per second. 1,000 hertz, that's why the speaker's moving like this. It's 1,000 cycles per second. And all that's doing is moving air.
You got to hold the head steady so I can milk the cow. That's one rapper said. Don't quote me on that, but...
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could say sound is material outside of air being moved.
Yeah, it's... Science has never been funner.
Well, I mean, I see it in my head.
So do I.
Bill says, is light in our physical medium because it's just a frequency like sound?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Light is a photon. So it's a massless particle. And what's interesting about photon is that and that's what's really weird about a photon, it's a wave and a particle at the same time. And that's why photons are strange, because it's also a wave, which makes it a frequency, a vibration, but it's also a particle. So then it has a actual structure. It's just not vibrations. So then you have to ask yourself, in the vibrational state, what is it moving? In the particle state, that's simple. It's just a particle, so there's a substrate. But in the vibrational state, like everything that vibrates, you have to have a medium to vibrate. Like if it's in the ocean, the waves prove the vibrations. If it's an audio, the air waves prove the vibrations. If it's a sound wave, if it's a light wave, what is proving the vibrations? So then you would have to argue that's the spectrum of light. The different colors are the evidences of the vibrations. Like another good example is, when you turn on a flashlight, why doesn't it shoot all the way to China?
Because it's too far away.
Because there's electrons everywhere. And these photons are colliding with these electrons. And that's why it slowly dissolves. But if you have a high velocity energy that asserts the photon, it can go farther. But eventually it dies off. It doesn't go forever. And you have to ask yourself, what's causing it not to go forever? Because there's electrons everywhere that it's hitting, and it's losing its energy from deflecting on these electrons.
That's why a laser can hit the moon.
But it only can go so far. It can't go forever.
No.
But that's in its particle state.
What else do we have here?
Man, I hope you guys can see it. Like it's just think about everything as waves.
Oh, we can see it all right.
Mm-hmm. I think we probably lost about 10 viewers.
Bill says. Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, think in the terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. How can that not be physical when it vibrates an eardrum? It's physically moving something.
Right. It's moving the air. Right.
Does that mean you can't hear noises in outer space? If there's no air in space, is there any sound?
That's a good question.
King James. Well, you know what? King James answers. He's popped up and said, the short answer is no, humans cannot hear sound in space.
Yeah, assuming it's an absolute vacuum. Maybe you can hear very certain proprietary, maybe they'd be outside of our frequency spectrum, But if it's an absolute vacuum, no, there's no air to move, air to vibrate. But if it's not an absolute, then you probably could hear something if it's within your spectrum. But if it's absolute vacuum, no, you ain't hearing nothing because there's no air to move.
Right.
That's why you can't, the theories you can't thrust because there's no atmosphere to press against in space because it's a vacuum. That's the theory. So if that's the case, then you wouldn't be hearing no sound because there's nothing to move, nothing to vibrate. It'd be like if you have a barren sea, you're not going to see any oceans any waves because there's no water to vibrate.
King James also says that, however, space isn't a perfect vacuum everywhere. Around stars, planets, and in nebulae, there are extremely thin gases and plasma. These areas can carry pressure waves, but the particles are so spread out that any sound created would have wavelengths stretching for thousands of miles. This result is a pitch far too low for human ears to ever detect.
Makes
And
sense.
Iron Man says dust. And theories are just someone's opinion. And then Frederick says, colleague wanted some of Andrew's cake.
I agree. Theory is just an opinion. I actually have a better definition. Theory is an explanation to phenomenon. I see a ball go up. I see it come down. I need to explain how that happened. That's a theory. Doesn't mean it's true, but that's my explanation to a phenomenon.
Well, usually it's because of puberty. That's why they come down.
It could be. Or it's like if I slap you in the ear. I have to have an explanation for that. So I have a theory. That's a criminal theory.
Yeah, I would have, what do they call that?
Blocka?
No, that noise of ringing in the ear.
Tendinitis?
Something like that.
Tensinitis or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Tinnitus.
Yeah, that's all a theory is. I'm not saying it's all true, but it's the explanation to a phenomenon. Well, that's a funny laugh too.
Come by, baby.
Iron Man just said, is young broads now calling tramp stamps cake toppers?
Whoa. So is he asking tramp stamps?
Tramp stamps are called cake stoppers, I guess.
What? All right. Can anybody tell us
cake toppers?
What a cake? Oh, hasn't been like
a cake
like
topper.
A muffin.
I don't think we
we
want
put
to
on
know.
top of the cake, like decor for a cake.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Wow.
That sounds like a lot of extra words. Like tramp stamp is fast. If I say cake topper, that's like more energy. It's like, it doesn't feel as smooth too. It's like tramp stamp feels smooth, like it's easy.
Like gobstoppers.
It's like, no, do you have a cake topper? It just
You have a gobstopper?
Doesn't feel as good.
I try not to get up in my feels.
Maybe that's just because maybe they're offended. Like they don't want to be called tramp. So they want to call it cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess cake toppers instead of tramp stamps.
Yeah, it's like, I guess that's the only reason.
Maverick reviews everything 2694. Welcome back, Maverick. Peace to all the young Padawans in training.
Hey, Maverick, what you been reviewing lately?
Oh,
Probably
there
the
you go. That's a good
Padawans.
question.
You remember getting paddle swept in school?
No.
Bill says, I've got tons of theories. Oh, my goodness.
I've got tons of cake.
Are you a cake topper?
No, but I don't have one either. But I do got a lot of cake.
You got a lot of frosting?
Yeah. It's whipped.
Which kind? You like the buttercream?
Yeah. Sweet cream.
Yeah. Papa cream.
Papa cream.
Paparazzi.
Is that it? Is that the end of the chats?
Oh, I'm sorry. Generally. Yeah, well, yeah, that's fine. We'll stop there for now. You get some weird stuff in there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm taking a break from reading.
You want me to take over for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, well, not necessarily. I mean, we could just go back to internal discussion and we get caught up again later.
You want to start talking about cake?
I like the band.
The band? Is that a
Yeah.
band?
Yeah, Cake is a band.
I didn't know that.
You ever think about vibrations as a treatment?
Yeah.
There is such a thing.
Like hair growth.
Well, actually, for physical therapy.
Yeah, I'm saying like specific things like hair growth. Like if I vibrate
if
at the
for
right
hair.
frequency, it might make my hair grow.
Maybe.
Like
Sounds
I need
like
to try
a-
that on my
You
legs.
talking about like the chia pets?
No, I'm talking about like Rogaine.
I don't know if that stuff works.
Like put some Rogaine on my legs and then vibrate it.
I don't know if that works.
Like,
Right.
what if I put like a vibrator on my head?
You're gonna get aggravated particles.
I
I
mean,
think in certain states that's illegal.
Yeah.
hey, it's illegal.
Yeah, you can't.
Talking about Arkansas.
You can't vibrate skulls.
Yeah. Some
You
places
can knock
got laws.
heads though.
I mean, you could choose. I mean, you can vibrate at like a light frequency, and then you can do it like an auditory frequency, and so you can try to shoot photons. You can try to shoot air. And I guess you could do both. Like rub it with a vibrator and rub it with light at the same time.
Like UV lights.
Well, all kind of like try all kinds of things, all kinds of lights.
Yeah, I guess there's ultraviolet. There's
Different spectrums. It's like try them all.
there's normal violet.
Yeah. There's what do you call that? Magnolia orange, reflector blue,
There's mega violet. There's
cyan.
not so ultraviolet.
Mm-hmm.
There's
And maybe
lesser
these
violet.
things have cures.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like there's a whole hexadecimal system for colors. Like you can try them all. It's probably like 32 bits. So like 16 million colors.
Yeah, I can see all 5 of them.
Oh yeah. You see them now
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Are they dots?
No, that looks pretty clear. I mean, I could see colors.
Talking about floaties?
Colors.
What color?
I mean, I see floaties too. Those are a thing.
What color you see right now when you look at me?
Let's see. There's like this purple aura around you.
Oh. Royal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're wearing a black hat, black clothes. L.A. Lakers.
That's not a color.
I don't know. These colors make distinguishing marks.
So the colors actually speak to you.
No, I don't hear colors. Some people do though. Their color, they
yeah,
see colors, and they actually hear it. Like there's different
When you
names.
take
and-
LSD, yeah, that'll happen.
People without it too. People with like severe autism, they will.
Oh, really?
They could actually hear or taste colors.
Taste.
Yeah, there's different occasions they can taste or hear or see. Of course, everybody could see colors, but it's arbitrary, obviously. But how their brain just automatically assigns colors to numbers or colors to certain tastes.
I wonder if they can feel colors, like in their hand.
Oh no, I haven't heard of that one. I'm sure there's somebody out there who can.
Like I'm feeling cyan right now in my finger.
Yeah, like I'm feeling blue.
I was
like
going to say I'm feeling blue. You beat me to it.
Yeah. Shout out to Elvis, the pelvis.
Blue
It's
velvet.
interesting.
Oh my goodness. Iron Man just says either the singer or the guitarist for Cake, the group, is in jail for pedophilia. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks.
I never heard of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Cake is. Wow, I'm surprised you guys haven't heard. It's a very popular band. Very unique sound.
Do you guys buy into the theory that there's some kind of energy or power in substances? And I'm not talking about like, uh,
Woo!
mind altering substances, but like,
I was going to say I'm taking some good stuff, but that's prescribed. So
like stuff like water itself, or copper, or gold, or rocks and stones.
you mean like crystals having certain frequencies in them?
Anything. I
That
mean, some
have
people
healing?
believe water itself transmits an energy.
Um, I know this is a little bit out there, but years ago I had read that there are certain kind of like naturalists and holistic people that believe that both like the placenta from birth is supposed to be very useful,
Just
and
doing
so
away.
is um, menstrual blood. So I don't know. They're supposed to be very rich in nutrients, and it's supposed to be very, very good for stuff naturally. I don't know. It sounded weird to me, but I had read about that.
Life is in the blood, is it not,
It is, that is true.
Reverend?
So
Reverend Pius the Elder.
Well, I think it's interesting
what's
that
growing?
you can't live unless you eat something that's alive. So there's something to that, which is interesting, which obviously scientists will call energy and the whole the chain of what do they call it, the chain of life or something like that. Like we, a grasshopper eats some kind of insect, and then a bigger insect eats that grasshopper, and then a snake eats that thing, and then a rat eats that, and everything eats everything, and then we eventually, it goes out the chain, the food chain, up until we eat it, and we get the energy from that. So we get energy from the stuff we eat. What I think is interesting is this energy is synonymous with life. For me to live, I have to kill animals every day. I have to kill animals 3 times a day
Or plants.
to live. Or plants, yeah, some kind of life force.
You could eat plants.
So even if I was a vegetarian, I'm still killing the plants. I'm still choking the seed out of something. And it's going into my mouth,
Yes.
and that's how I live.
You have to swallow it.
Yeah, of course, if you don't ingest it. I mean, you can take it in both ways. I'm sure it'll still work, but the proper way.
Well, I've tried. I don't know if I ever absorb meat from rubbing it on my skin.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. You can take it in one of 2 ways.
What's the other way?
Anima.
Yeah, I guess they do that, like coffee, so that it doesn't get digested by your kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's interesting. For every human being to live, and not just humans, plants also, and animals have to kill just to live. So we have to actually sacrifice other life forms just so I can live.
Well,
Every single life form that wants to live has to sacrifice other life
not
forms.
necessarily, and which
that
is
live.
interesting. Plants can live by photosynthesis.
Sure, yeah.
So they
That's the base. That's the bottom of the food chain.
right. They consume light, and that's all they need.
And the photons are dying.
Well, that's actually, I don't take that back. That's not true. They
But
do
water.
need elements from the earth, like they need vitamins and nutrients.
And water, obviously.
But what's interesting is that scientists are now trying, and they've been successful twice, on synthesizing human protein to consume light and having an ability to metabolize through photosynthesis.
I've eaten a lot of human protein before, and it doesn't do anything for me. Not that I can see anyway.
Yeah, I don't, you have to expand on that on your own. I'm not sure what that all encompasses.
Well, I'm just saying you have to consume life. It's almost like, if there's such thing as a soul, it's like Scooby-Doo had it right all these years. There's these these monsters that are soul suckers, and they live off of consuming other people's souls. And that's literally what we are doing. We have to consume the life out of living on. If you eat a rock, it doesn't do anything for you.
You know what's interesting about
you have
that?
to eat something alive.
There's a balance between, and it's not, see, what's interesting is it's not all life. Good example is fiber. There's a balance between life and metabolizing. We can't metabolize fiber. That's why whenever you get something from the store and it says 0 carbs, but it's like a tortilla, it's because it's made out of fiber and your body can't digest fiber. So it doesn't absorb any of that calorie because you can't metabolize it. It's like the same thing, like gasoline actually has a lot of calories. A lot of calories. But your body can't metabolize it, so it ain't going to do anything for you. So there's a balance between what your body, and every insect and animal and plant is different, what your body is programmed to metabolize comparative to what you eat. Like if we could metabolize gasoline, man, we would be jam-packed with energy.
Yeah, it's got to be something living.
Well, it doesn't have to.
And
it has to be metabolizable.
Not every living thing either, because a lot of living things are hazardous to us because they built up a defense system. But still, it's got to be something living. So if you want to live, you have to kill something that was previously living, or somebody has to kill it, and then you have to eat it. And you can't wait too long, because the longer you wait, the less life force it has, and the less nutrients you're going to get from it. So if you leave something in the freezer too long, eventually it goes bad. The life force depletes. It doesn't last forever. So you have to eat something before. In fact, just up until our modern era, you had to eat it. There was no fridges, so you had to eat it real quick.
Well, they preserved it through salt and preservational methods. They could preserve pretty long with that.
Yeah, but still, it's not a forever thing.
No, nothing's forever. Everything breaks down. It just slows the decay process.
Iron Man sent us $2 and said, egg is the perfect food as a living being.
It is. It is a superfood. It has almost all the balanced nutrients we need.
And it's also living.
Yeah.
Now, one of the best things we can eat is fermented foods, but that's not usually very palatable for a lot of people.
Like, can you give us an example? Like exactly what you mean?
Fermented beans or kimchi.
Like kimchi is a good example.
Oh, kimchi, okay.
But the reason it's good for us is because it's a bunch of bacteria.
Yeah, it's fermented. Right.
Yeah, it's all this living organisms, microorganisms.
Okay.
We have such a depletion of probiotics, and our guts are so jacked up. We don't have a lot of good bacteria, and so you need some of that. So like fermented soybean, fermented cabbage like kimchi. Fermented foods are really good for you. But
interesting.
Man, it'd be interesting if we could actually consume the energy of light, right? Like photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Because I mean, that's what scientists are working on. They've done it twice. It didn't last long. The cells didn't last long, but they did metabolize.
Well, that's what I think is interesting. It's more than just energy, which I haven't heard. Well, when I was in school, they talked about how this is how we get energy is through ingesting energy. But yeah, you can get energy from getting the sun too. You can get energy from many different sources, but it's still not enough. So energy is not exactly what you need to live. You can consume energy, but it's not enough.
Because it's not just, you don't need energy per se. You need nutrients to feed the cells, and that nutrient actually creates the energy through the mitochondrium. It's the powerhouse of the cell. So once you feed the nutrients, it creates energy.
And it has to be preserved through another living organism.
Right, well, this is cellular division. Yeah. It's going to happen forever, right? Well, until you die, of course. It doesn't happen forever, right?
It's just something weird to think about.
Yeah, it is, that these things are all functioning in our body. Like every cell has its own machine.
Well, that's normal. What I'm talking about is the fact that you have to kill something to live.
Well, these things are living,
day.
So they need you to feed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't feed it these nutrients that come from other living sources, it's going to die.
I got to step away for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay.
He's got to go kill something real quick so he can eat.
You want to take his dictations?
Let's see.
Reminds me of that old song, Mitosis.
I don't know where we left off. Iron Man said, I've got tons of theories. And then Iron Man said, but what sounds nicer, whore or girlfriend?
It probably depends who you're asking.
I mean,
If we're being honest. Because, girlfriend means commitment in the traditional sense. A whore just means, instant gratification. That's like, do you want protein, like a meat substance that can sustain you for like the next 6-7 hours, or do you want like microwave popcorn? I mean, I guess the idea is one is substantial. There's a commitment, like I got to cook this thing, I got to go through all this time. Or the other one, I just throw it in the microwave and just, it's just done. I just get my fix. At least that's how I see it. It's like, probably just depends who you're asking.
Yeah, one's like fast food and one's like a restaurant. Sometimes fast food is better than going out to a restaurant.
Well, it's quick and easy.
Yeah, and it tastes good sometimes. Sometimes it tastes better than a restaurant.
Well,
Sometimes you'll wait 5 hours to get your stupid meal at a restaurant, and when it comes out, it's not even that good. So it's like, what was all that commitment about? I could have went to any other restaurant, but I went to this one.
Right.
So, yeah.
Sometimes you pay the commitment, and it just didn't pan out.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's no payout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody really complains about bad fast food. Like, you don't like it, but you don't care because there's no commitment. It didn't cost a lot, and it's quick and easy. But everybody's frustrated when they pay top dollar and they're waiting some time, and it doesn't meet expectations. What an analogy to make relationships correlated with food.
Yeah, I mean, everything has its place.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, good questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe there could be, but
I've never heard of one.
What's a stupid question?
I've never heard of one, so I don't know.
Maybe that's a stupid question.
Yeah, I guess there it is. Yeah, right there.
Right there.
Okay. Frederick said, you want to hear real theories? Today, almost all modern tech is stolen from Tartarians by Zios.
You got to prove that. See, it's a theory. So we have technology today, and your explanation of our technology is some invisible derivative. Maybe it's true, but you have to prove that all technology is from there. Every theory has to have its evidential logical chain.
Yeah, and I went down the Tartarian road a while back, and because I thought it was interesting, but I started realizing that there's they're not playing with a full deck.
They're playing with jokers.
Yeah, they're cheating, and so they're saying that history is all made up. All the history we know of today is made up. And then you ask them how they know, and they start talking about historical events. And they're using historian scholarship to talk about historical events and facts.
So circular reasoning.
That's right. And they said that history is made up, but they use historians. So very simply put, historians are telling you that history is made up, and you ask them, how do you know? Well, because history says so. Yeah. I'm like, how does that work? And that's a very simplistic, the base problem with the entire theory, but if you go listen to them, and you go listen to people asking them questions, you're going to get the same response. They're going to tell you, well, yeah, because the Catholics control history, and they've always controlled history, and we just didn't know it. They deleted stuff, they added stuff, all this stuff. they made up history and all, because look at the Gregorian calendar and how there's 300 years missing, all this stuff. Where did those 300 years go? And this is all because of the mud flood and everything else. The Roman Catholics controlled it all. And then you start asking, okay, I'm listening. How do you know that? Well, because the historical events, it's like, so, but you can't trust the historical events because the Catholics made that up, right? So the Catholics made up any kind of historical event that you're about to tell me about. There's nothing I can read in history that has not been controlled by the Catholics that you're saying. To the Tartarians, of course, those dogmatic Tartarians out there. So you can't use history to show me that history's been made up, because history's been made up by the Catholics. So anyway, it's just this circular, like a host said, it's just circular.
Now, one thing I will say is interesting. The 1890 World Fair in those buildings, that's really interesting that they built all of that within 6 weeks. And those are some huge structures. Maybe they use foam, maybe, I don't care. That to me is one of those wonders. That's a lot of stuff.
See, if a Tartarian person starts talking about that stuff,
and I know what they're
then you ask them,
right?
Well, how do you know that's accurate?
Right. I get that.
Because you're going to go on the internet, or let's say you open up a book, right, and it shows you, but I have this book from 1984. I have this book from the 16th century.
Right.
You open it up, it's like, look, this shows that these buildings were here a long time ago. It's like, but the Catholics controlled that. The Catholics gave you that book. The Catholics controlled what the internet's saying. The Catholics controlled all of it. So no, those buildings were never there at that time. The Catholics made all this up. So you can't trust any of these ancient books, no matter how ancient you want to go back to. You can't trust any of it because it's all controlled by the Catholics. And you have to believe that to believe in Tartaria. And so it collapses on itself.
Right. I don't think I coined that kind of stuff. Like a dog, a Dalmatian. That's just Dalmatian history. You pick and choose the spots that you like. And I don't think that's...
and then claim it's all made up. But
right.
hey, this part's not made up.
Except for the spots you like.
Yeah,
right.
This book that I got from the 1600s isn't made up by history. So this one book is like, how can you prove that?
Right.
How do you prove that the Catholics didn't give that to you?
Well, yeah, that's just living in solipsism. Like, only your truth is truth and only you are real. You can live in that fantasy, but you can't communicate that to no one else because the moment you do, it becomes it's fallible. But I will say, and I know I'm not believing in the idea. Maybe Tartaria is real. But I can't prove it. Like, there's no way I could prove any of that. But I will say it is very interesting, the 1898 World Fair and all those buildings that are constructed in that timeline. That's interesting. Another thing that I've talked about before, Wrigley Field. The construction of Wrigley Field, like how many loads? Like this was the time they were still using buggies and stuff. Like they didn't have all this massive excavators. How much marble? How much concrete? How much digging? How much extraction? And how many wheelbarrows through carts they had to move to get all this stuff here? And they built that whole thing in 18 months. The timeline, and they have to transport this material here too. So now you have to bring the material here. Then you have to transport it from the dock to this location, and you have to extract all the dirt and all this excavation all through these carts. Like, you don't have heavy machinery. 18 months. That's insane. But that's not like, we're not talking a long time ago. We're talking in 1920, 1930, somewhere around there. Maybe 1918. And then the wildfires, that stuff. Like if you just go back into looking at all these primitive military infrastructures going back to in our America, going back to like 1780, 1810. Like I showed before, Chicago. Chicago was this little tiny like plantation in 1790 of like 5,000 people. By the time you get to 1812, somehow magically you have like 100,000 people. And in this video I explained like this logistically transmigrating people, all of it, the timeline is astronomical. Like these kind of things are very strange, but I don't have to believe in some kind of like deleting of history. But I will say something just doesn't add up here numerically. This is like reading some kind of ancient literature, and they're making up numbers. There is a Chicago for sure. There are people. There's a city. There's skyscrapers. Oh yeah, and the picture of Chicago in 1880, Chicago had a fire in the 1870s, and some magical way by 10 years later they rebuilt everything. Skyscrapers. We're talking about, legitimate like 20-story buildings. And I was like, that's really interesting. And I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying somebody's fluffing the numbers here. That just seems like some ancient literature fluffing numbers. I'm not denying the events. It's just something's not accurate here.
Well, there are professional fluffers out there.
Yeah, and so that kind of history, I believe, has a hyperbolic nature. Something is not accurate. I can go that far. But I can't say, history's just... Some things probably are deleted. Some. But I can't go to the extent of saying, we're just making everything up. And that's a little tough for me to believe.
There may be exaggerations, but...
yeah. But the hard part is, there was people who saw Wrigley Field get built. And I was like, what is that? We couldn't do that today with our excavators, everything. We couldn't build that thing in 18 months.
That's because we're lazy today.
And we got bulldozers, machinery, excavators.
You got to have people working those things, and if they're
and you want to talk about the mastery. We're talking about skilled marble mastery.
Yeah, there is two things that I can think of off the top of my head. Why it takes a lot longer to get things like that done today, and it didn't back then. Today, there's all these things, like you have to jump through all these governmental hoops. You have to get approval by the city planner, and there's all these different hoops. You have to get approval by this group, by that group, by this group, by that group. The approval to do plumbing now. Okay, now we got to get approval to do electrical, and you have to do all these hoops. That's why it takes so long to build something, especially in the inner city.
Why couldn't we build something that fast in the 50s?
Well,
when they didn't have that, because people were dying off the Empire State Building. Like, people were literally just dying.
You're talking about OSHA and stuff or whatever.
Well, I'm just saying there was no real regulations until we get to about the 70s.
I think there was even less. Whatever regulations there were, they definitely weren't here in the beginning of America's building. I just
don't think we have.
So they were doing all kinds of. They were just building stuff. And not the other thing I was going to say was people probably worked longer days back then. They didn't have all these unions, and you work 8 hours. No, they're probably working all day around the clock.
That's just tough.
If they were working around the clock, 12-hour shifts. You'd have two shifts, 12 hours each.
You can build that kind of large structure in that timeline.
Yeah, today it probably seems impossible.
Well, I'm not just talking about that. Like, I calculated how long. Like, I gave good estimates, like reasonable estimates. How long does it take? And I calculated the distance from the dock. How long would it take a cart and a horse to get to that location, drop it off, and come back? And how many times do they have to do this to bring all the marble, to bring all the concrete, to bring all the wood?
The horses were stronger back then, too.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
They were eating their Wheaties.
But I was giving them reasonable time, and I was like, this at least had to take 3 years.
Horses are lazy nowadays.
They did not eat enough hay.
Yeah.
Anyways, all I'm saying is, I don't know. That kind of stuff I get, and that's a good question. I just don't know if I can believe in, like, absolute deletion of large chunks of history. Maybe they are, and I'm sure there are chunks of history that are deleted. But that's tough. Is that it?
Want me to read more? Brian Rod says, NASA has videos of space with sound in it. LOL. Yeah, we know. We've talked about that. And I'm sure NASA's going to say, like what King James was saying, that there's little gas pockets or whatever out there. It's not like it's a complete vacuum. But as King James said, it seemed like what he was saying, you can correct me if I'm wrong, King James, but what it seemed like he was saying was that if there is any sound out there, even in these little gas pockets, it's not hearable by the human ear because it's so low. It'd be so quiet.
If we could actually test it ourselves, well, an easy way is, put a camera out there. You know how all these cameras have like little mics, and just have something to tap it. Like that's an obvious.
That's
Like
that's
if
what
we
NASA
could,
does all the time.
No, I'm saying if we could, I know we can't. You know what I'm saying, but if we could just tap it, that'd be an easy way to, just disprove or prove anything.
Yeah, like
empirically.
Those videos with astronauts out there fixing wings and stuff.
Yeah, I know you hear this little.
Well, yeah, you hear that, but you also hear the scratching of the microphone and plastic out there from the astronaut. The astronaut, you can hear what he's doing on the wing. It's like, like you could hear what he's doing out there.
Yeah, that's a very hard theory to function because if it's a vacuum, the movement has no vibrational function because that's what sound is. It's like, but it's a vacuum. So I don't know how you're gonna run that.
Well, science is a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I guess that is the hard phenomenon. Because we kind of have to just believe it or not. It's not like you're going to have an opportunity to go test it.
Shout out to Ripley's.
Yeah. But I do understand what they're saying. It's just, I don't know if I buy it all.
How's that cake, Elder?
Good stuff. We need to get a satellite up there.
Well, we could probably go about 120 feet. 120,000 feet. But then it seems some mysterious reason all these projected rockets that have like those cameras built on it, they top out at 120,000, and that's about it.
It's interesting. If it would be cool, I know somebody already did this, but if somebody could just make a toy rocket with enough firepower, which you should be able to do, just a toy, and put a camera on it and shoot it all up to space. Why couldn't someone do that?
They do that, but it can't go farther than about 120,000 feet.
So why can't we do it farther is what I'm saying.
Yeah, all of them, and it's many people do this like privately, like a little kid.
That's what I'm saying, private, even a rich person.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot
rich
of
people should be able to do it too.
Yeah, rich people with kids. Usually it's like this little experiment. They have YouTube channels. And a lot of them do it, and they all hit this point where it just kind of like starts floating. It's like pop, and this is it. So that's where people's like, what did it hit? It feels like it hit something, because they all stop at this point, and
somebody can still try it.
Well, they do,
and keep on trying.
Yeah, they have a lot of that.
Well, keep in mind that there are limitations. There's requirements for the size of the vehicle and the thrust that it produces. So. Because keep in mind that there's the FAA has restricted, like you can't shoot them off just anywhere.
Well, some people just let off large weather balloons. They don't. They just do it. They leave a camera on it.
Oh,
let that thing fly.
Let's say
I thought about that. Yeah.
Let's say you do. I guess you don't have to really be rich. It's just your hobby to make these little model rockets.
Mm-hmm.
You make this thing indestructible. You make it out of solid steel. You weld it or whatever. And it's not very big. Go undetected by any radar system. So you put enough firepower in there to shoot it all the way up into space.
That's the problem.
With a camera.
That's the problem.
I'm telling you, guys.
Why would that be a
you
problem?
guys are hearing me.
Physics.
They have those videos. There's a lot of them on the internet.
I know, but have someone else do it and more people do it.
Yeah, there's like hundreds.
I've only seen one do that, what you're talking about. But
you can just look it up. There's actually hundreds of people who do it.
Well, maybe. But if somebody could take a steel rocket and shoot it all the way up, and again, and even if, let's say, NASA finds out or the government finds out, it's too late at that point. It's live feed, and it's shooting live. And now the camera is out there live with everything else. So, yeah, you can come arrest me, but it's live right now. So it's too late. You're too late, Batman. It's out there. What are they going to do?
They ain't gonna do nothing. They never do anything.
That's what I'm saying. So why can't somebody do it?
But they do.
All somebody has to. That's something that anybody can do in their basement. Make your rocket in your basement. Can put outside. Shoot straight up in the air with live feed. Yeah, you may go to jail for life. They may come and kill you, but it's still going live.
I'm saying they do. You just go watch them. But they all tend to hit the ceiling.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Let's do a little research on that. Yeah.
And they usually have then it parachutes out because they want the camera back.
Yeah. I don't think it's cheap to do something like that. Like,
I don't know. I know people do it.
well, yeah. I mean, people spend money on all kinds of crazy things, but I mean, colleague wants to buy a gold yacht.
I mean, myself personally, I've probably watched about 5 of those different people. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I'll have to research it. I'll have to look into it. I'm not.
I'm sure.
I'm not saying they don't do it.
I'm sure there's a lot more than that.
I mean, you look at some people out there, just the amount of money they drop on these crazy stunts that they do. I have no doubt there's plenty of people out there that have the money to be able to do it. But I guess what I'm saying is, if you really want it to work correctly, it's got to spend some money on it to make it work. I don't think it's cheap. You're not talking about an Estes rocket with a small, 2-stage
I'm
load
sure
on
it's
it.
not cheap, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's within the. I mean, it's within people doing it. Absolutely, I agree.
I'm sure there's probably universities that do it for just like for a project.
Oh yeah, research.
They put
whatever.
all kinds
Yeah.
of like sensors on it just to get data.
Yep. Well, maybe we need to send up our own rocket.
Are you going to fund our rocket fund?
Well, no, I think the viewers would support it. We could divert
I guess
money
if
from
everybody pitched
yacht.
into the rocket fund, we could do it. Would make it live.
Yeah, we could divert some of the funds from the yacht fund.
Yeah. Guess I have to look into it, like how much it costs and what it takes.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could build it. It's just
and
how
the
much would
legal
it cost?
ramifications. I really don't want to spend the last years of my life in jail.
Well, there's flat earthers out there who could care less. Like that one flat earther who actually died trying to shoot the rocket up. He shot the rocket
himself
many times, yeah, with himself in it. But this time the parachute didn't work or something like that, and he died doing it.
If I did do that, I guess I didn't think about that. I'd probably have to make a secret website, and then that would be the live. And then I would have to probably go to some obscure place in the United States and shoot it there. But it would be live. But if you had access to this website, you could watch it. It couldn't just be on a general live like on this channel. But I could probably do something like that and get away with it. And just make it disposable too. Like I ain't worried about getting that camera back. I'm gonna shoot that thing and get out of there.
I think I found something here, Willis.
The problem is that the wireless transmission wouldn't be as long. You're gonna have to get the camera back so I can post the live footage. I mean the recorded footage. The live is at some point because I don't have connection to these constellation mesh networks like Elon does. I don't think I'm gonna be able to connect.
Can't connect to the SkyTrain? Come on. All right. Oh, it looks like Jeremy Hannaberry.
And then, but it comes back down, so it makes it past the dome. So that's good, if you could believe it.
Yeah, we should be back.
Yeah, something's acting very strange. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine now. I had to restart the.
Oh, okay, because all the whatchalls disappeared.
All my plugins did.
Everything's much better now.
I'm feeling much better now.
All right, here we go.
Missile away. 10,
So you can see
9, 8, 7.
That's a pretty big one.
5. Vehicle
big
armed.
one.
3.
That's what she said.
2, 1. Fire. Missile away.
Yeah, it's got some crazy spin on it.
Burn out. Copy, good burn.
Yeah, see, it just magically stops here. See, now it just starts floating around. And that's... well, that was a chop. I don't know what that chop was all about. But it's like once they hit about 120,000 feet, they all kind of just... that's the cap. They just can't go past that. I think it's 120. That might be farther than what I think it is. Maybe it's less than that. Man, imagine the hope that you could get this thing back.
Yeah. Well, they probably have GPS tracking.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, where's it going to land?
Oh, I know. Who knows, right?
I mean, the Earth is spinning.
So they've obviously, huh. I was going to say they broke away from the gravitational pull.
It seems like.
Well, the Earth would suck you back down.
Yeah, it seems like that's what's happening. Where's the curvature? You can tell that they definitely went past the third wall, so...
Now, is this a convincing video for people? Man, that joker's gonna that's gonna land like on Mount Everest or something.
Mission Control, we have touchdown.
Dr. Toilet just sent us a $4.99 donation and said, check at the Strange and Weird on your Discord to watch Balloon in Space.
Oh.
Okay, let me pull that up.
While you're doing that, here's another one. I don't think this is no, it's not the same one.
56 miles, wow.
Hmm. 28,000 feet. Yeah, that probably sounds more accurate. But you know, that's like about the height of Mount Everest.
Yeah, so why can't somebody design a rocket
and shoot it from Mount Everest?
Oh yeah, shoot it from Mount Everest, shoot it even higher up. Looks like that's what they're getting ready to do. They're gonna break that record probably. That last one.
30. 35. Sustain ignition.
Oh, it says here the distance a homemade rocket can travel ranges from just a few hundred feet for a simple model, to over 60 miles for highly advanced two-stage amateur builds.
Yeah, probably because of the material that they're using, but...
Miles about 5,200 or so. So they rounded off to 5,000 times 60. So that's...
About 47,000 feet. So this is distance altitude for high-powered amateur rockets, 10,000 to 47,000 plus feet. They build them using fiberglass, carbon fiber, and custom-poured composite solid fuels. Wow.
Well, here's the balloon video.
Oh.
A YouTuber managed to make the most of their potential camera of him, sending her off with an improvised balloon beyond the stratosphere, reaching space and capturing amazing footage. It's called Balloon Stew, and he started his adventure from his home in Texas to take some beautiful pictures, as reported by Indy 100. However, the balloon began to rise higher and higher in the sky, and eventually transcended the atmosphere, reaching the vastness of space. The balloon conquered space. In the video, the camera appears to move away from the courtyard of his farmhouse, which gradually becomes one with the uniform green surface of the plane. After a few seconds of blur, the camera flew above the clouds, floating in a sea of white. The shot became even more impressive when the balloon was at a height that revealed the curvature of the Earth, with the blue sky turning black as it approached the cosmic dome. Unfortunately, the laws of nature did not take long to make their appearance, with the air of the balloon exploding abruptly into the thin atmosphere. Fortunately, a
So if you could
specialist
get
parachute managed to prevent the camera from falling immediately, allowing it to continue capturing impressive footage for a few more minutes.
how's he gonna retrieve that again? I could come back down in China.
I think it had a parachute. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's the weird part. It's
Yeah,
like
'cause it would take hours
you
for
would
that thing to
think
come
that
back
the
down.
Earth is, supposedly spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
Well, then you have wind. And it's on a parachute, and it's gonna come back. It's probably gonna take hours for it to come back down.
I'm saying the Earth is spinning.
Yeah. So make a balloon with some carbon fiber material that's not gonna pop. Fill it with a lot of helium. These people know what to do. Whatever they just did there, do it with a more durable material so it can go higher. Because if it just goes straight out into space and gets sucked out into space, that'd be kind of cool. Like you just sent a balloon to space.
So if you can't get the rocket to penetrate through low Earth orbit,
The balloon just did.
no, it popped.
Well, yeah, because the pressure, the pressurization.
But what I'm saying is,
So if they make a stronger material balloon, put helium in it, and send it up again, stronger material.
it's gonna pop at some point because pressure is pressure. It's like like if you go underneath the ocean, the atmospheric pressure will crush things like a tuna can. At some
So
point,
make it out of solid diamond.
that
won't be too expensive.
that might work, I guess.
I don't know.
If you can get a solid diamond to fly, that's
It'll at
cool.
least go a lot further if it's made out of something more durable, a more durable material. They could use spider web.
Yeah, I know, but the rocket went 40,000 feet. That's pretty far. That's farther than the balloon, and that's still having momentum, and it just stopped.
Yeah, I know. So that's another dumb. It's like, so take that same rocket, put more rocket power in it, and send it back up again. But for some reason, nobody's doing it. Or if they are, maybe they try to put the video online. We just never can see it because it immediately gets taken down. So they don't just doesn't even get.
Or you
They
just
don't let it go up.
You don't have the authority to use
Who
that much
cares?
projectile propellant.
That's what I was
Who
saying.
cares?
There's regulations and laws and
And how are they
things,
going to
yep.
know how much firepower I'm putting in my rocket?
You have to buy it, like jet fuel.
Yeah. So if my friend buys as much as he can, I buy as much as I can. Another friend buys as much as they can. We combine all three.
I guess it depends on what kind of fuel they use.
That's a whole nother thing. I know that there's people, a lot in the science world, a lot smarter than any of us, and they can come up with better ways of fuel, lighter, more cost effective. I'm just shocked that nobody's doing it, and it makes me wonder. It's like maybe people are doing it. They're putting it live on YouTube, but YouTube cuts the feed anytime it goes into.
Real,
or maybe they're not posting it. Then maybe they're
no,
just
what
keeping
I'm
it to
saying
themselves.
is, that's hard to believe too, because if it's real, unless it's a global conspiracy, you could put it on foreign networks, at least Russia or some other isolated special red rooms VPN.
I don't think
paid.
people know how to do that
Well, if you're going this far, you probably wanted to get out.
If you're that far into the rocket world, that means you're a professional rocket person. You don't know how to work the
but
internet.
if you got that kind of money, you probably got the people, you're like, hey, I want this to get online. Make it happen. And if you got the money to send rockets into space.
For whatever reason, it's not happening.
That's
I don't know why. It's like all you need is a little bit more firepower and you can go into space with a live camera. Now, I guess that's another thing I thought about. Maybe it's because they can't do live going up that high.
You can't. That's what I was saying. You have to get it back.
Yeah, so you have to get the camera back. So that's the other thing. You can't send it up with a rope either. It'd be too heavy.
Like, if it actually could somehow break through the atmosphere, nobody would ever see it because you ain't getting it back.
And then maybe that's happened. That's probably happened before.
That's theoretically possible.
People
for sure.
probably send it up with a live camera and it never came back.
It will never come back.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The live feed got cut because it just got out of distance.
It would have got cut a lot earlier because Elon can do that because he's got the satellite constellations.
Mm-hmm.
But the average person, if you don't get that camera back after about 500 feet, maybe 1,000, you're out of the range of even cellular networks. You're just out of here.
Well, you could still reach it on a landline.
Out of here.
That's how it's a Nixon.
Maybe satellite internet, maybe then, because you got satellite phones. So maybe, but it's low resolution.
Okay, so what if you hack Elon's satellite?
I'm going to call you. No.
But it would be doable if you hack a satellite. If you hack a satellite,
that sounds like Israeli talk.
If you hack a satellite, and then
Oh,
what was that? It's a projectile.
You hack a satellite and you send the rocket up, and you keep the live feed because you hacked a satellite.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, sure.
Done. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I don't know if any of us is that prolific.
Not us, but somebody out there. Flat earthers make things happen.
I mean,
they didn't make going to school happen, but they make everything else happen.
I feel pretty good about my skills, and I don't think I possess the thing to get there. Like I don't believe that. I mean, I don't believe I could do it.
Well, there's a reason people call us the A-team.
They shouldn't.
That's what I said. I tell them you really shouldn't talk about us like that. I mean, that's not that's not true. It's not true, but they insist.
A-team.
I mean, if you know how they have airplane Wi-Fi, if somehow you could like pay, I don't know if they have a service where you could pay for airplane Wi-Fi. Permanently.
Tommy just had a really good one. He said you have to use the cell phones that people use on planes flying to New York during 9/11 used. I bet that you would get a good connection if they were able to call all their loved ones.
The problem is that's just like 2G network. Like that's just transmit communicational data. To get high resolution.
I have an idea.
Even let's say it's 720p. Let's say it's even lower than that, 480. That's a lot of data.
So, I have an idea.
Yeah.
You put your phone inside of this rocket, and you could probably strip all the extra stuff you don't need on the phone just for weight purposes.
But that's what I'm saying. After about, I'd say maximum 2,000 feet, unless you have some kind of satellite.
Well, you use the cell towers
but
for your phone, and your phone is tethering the Wi-Fi data to the camera.
That'll be good until you get to about 3,000 or 4,000 feet. At that point, it's too far of you don't have enough. It doesn't have the wireless transmissional power to do that.
What if you had a government satellite phone?
Now, if somehow you made a special phone.
Well, you can buy government satellite phones.
Yeah, I know that.
So what if you use one of those?
I don't know the bandwidth. Like, of course, you could definitely communicate. Absolutely.
Yeah, use that to tether data to your phone, your smartphone, and use that to tether the Wi-Fi to the camera.
The problem is bandwidth. Like, we're trying to send video. Video's a lot of data. That needs a lot of bandwidth. This isn't just a text. This isn't just a phone call. Like, you're trying to send video live. That's even more bandwidth. Like, you need this at least 15 to 20 frames per second, or it's going to be really choppy. Like, if it's at like 5 to 10 seconds frames per second, it's like that just looks fake. Like, you want at least 20 frames a second. That's a lot of data. And you better hope that connection stays solid. That's a lot of data.
I guess this is how the government's been keeping everybody down. This is how they've been doing it then. 'Cause, yeah, it's like, yeah, you can send rockets out there. You ain't going to be able to tell anybody what you did. You yourself won't even be
one
able to do it.
way. You had a big enough rocket like that one guy did. You put a Starlink. The Starlink communicates with the satellites.
I said that earlier.
The Starlink itself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Starlink could do it unless there's some kind of like program that says if, and this has to be proprietary, if somehow one of our receiving devices past this level, we just got to cut the feed. That would have to be premeditated.
Well, there is a reason, I guess, now that we're talking about this, I guess this is that reason that guy actually said, I'm going to have to strap myself up to this rocket and go up myself like Buzz Lightway. I'm going to have to go up there myself. And that's what he did.
He died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's tough. And, man, there's all kinds of interference the higher you go.
You know, it's funny. I wonder, too, if he actually died of natural. Like, did he die from the rocket, or he found out something that he wasn't supposed to find out? So, as soon as he landed, the government said, yeah, let's tag him and bag him, boys. Yeah, I mean, how would you know? He's out there on government soil. It's not like he owned all that land. He's out there in Arizona or something. I can't remember where it was, but...
Yeah, I would think that might be the best chances if you put a Starlink on that thing and give it a shot. Has to be a good-sized rocket. Like, I'm not talking about big, but like the one they sent up on the first video. That was a decent-sized rocket. That was like about 20 feet. That could do it, and that wouldn't be that much resistance. Yeah, that could work, and that'd be live. Yeah, that might be your best shot at it. And then you can find out, did they have a program to cut off data? Because if it just cuts off randomly, that means they have
you should make a short for this, a very short clip, and put it out there. Because then you could probably reach the masses and inspire somebody. Word gets around. Tell them exactly what to do. Take one of these Starlink things. Do this. If that video gets taken down by whatever platform you're putting it on, which you'll put it on, but whichever ones take it down, obviously, then you'll know why.
Man, if I could get a rocket, I would. I mean, it's not hard to get a Starlink.
No, but somebody out there cares more than we do.
I mean, it's cool.
And they have the money. Right. And that's the other thing. You have to, because there's people that care, they don't have the money.
Be a small rocket.
Yeah, no. But that one you saw in that video, they did it.
Yeah, that's a good
20-foot
rocket.
All they needed was, well, yeah, I guess that's it. They needed more rocket fuel, which they probably could have easily done, but it seems like the reason they didn't was because they needed their camera back. And that seems like that is the biggest barrier. So you can do it. You just need a way to get the video back somehow.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of radiation. There's a lot of interference, so you definitely would need to put it inside. But see, the problem
I just came up with another idea.
You got two problems. Yeah. The more you shield the interference, the more you're actually restricting, though, the transmission ability of your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you don't need to do any of that. I just came up with a better idea. It's more mechanical.
Oh, yeah?
So you shoot the rocket up. You shoot the rocket up. And once it goes out into space, and it knows it's out in space, obviously, you would have some way of, once a paramedic, you can have a pressurized system,
well, if it breaks through, it's going to keep moving because now you're in space.
Yeah, that's right. So now it's in space. You can have some kind of pressurized sensor so it can tell. That's going to trip, and it shoots down the camera. So it shoots the camera down back to Earth. All it needs is a little push, and then once it hits gravity, then it'll do its thing. It's got a parachute that'll eject.
If it breaks through the atmosphere, no, it's going to burn up. If you're still
that other rocket didn't,
no, because it didn't break through the atmosphere. But once you go out of the atmosphere, to re-enter, you're going to burn up. That's why whenever you're hearing these satellites,
a parachute.
If you could break through the atmosphere,
a parachute. So the camera gets shot back down, and then a parachute catches it.
If you break through the atmosphere, like if you don't, you're within the atmosphere. You don't have to fight. Your gravity's not going to fight against the atmosphere.
That video we just watched with the rocket, and it broke up into 3 parts. It was clearly in space. Like you could tell the ropes and everything were just floating as it's falling, but the ropes are still stiff. Everything's like there's barely any gravity where it was, and all three of those parts came back down. Camera's intact, everything's intact, nothing lit on fire, nothing.
Yeah, I don't think it broke through the atmosphere.
Or maybe the space movie we've been watching is a farce that they're saying. And no, maybe that's the other thing. Maybe it's because they're coming in at such a speed. They're coming in at like thousands of miles an hour, and then they break through the atmosphere.
Also,
but
keep
if it's
in mind they have a very large surface that's fighting against. It's not a tiny package.
See,
I mean,
I guess I'll even question.
Very big.
I'll even question my own tenability because I don't know, right? I'm just saying this because it's what I'm told. And it makes sense to me mathematically because that's what they told. But I guess I'll just revert to saying it could all be a farce, and what I've been told is a farce. And I'll give that tenability, and maybe it won't. Maybe it's not going to burn up. But I don't know. So it's possible that it won't. It all could just be a farce.
Well, there's scientifically, I imagine why the rocket would burn up because, like a shuttle coming back from space, going at 9,000 miles an hour, going into air or Earth's orbit, and all this air hitting you. That makes sense why it would burn up. Something that's just going up and then coming back down slowly. I don't know why that would burn up. It just depends
if you're outside, because you have to have enough velocity to break the atmosphere. And it's just like you have to have enough velocity to break through going back. Once you break through the atmosphere, there's actually, like you have to picture.
I don't know about that.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. What they tell us, the atmosphere is kind of like a ceiling. It's a closed. We live in a closed system. They tell us that.
I know,
the Earth is a closed system.
Yeah, I know.
So if it's a closed system, you have to break through the closed system. It's not a fake closed system.
And I was taught in school. I know I talked about this before. I was taught in 5th grade. And I always thought it was the dumbest thing, too, then. That's the only reason it stuck with me, was that when we sent the rocket to the moon the first time, we put a hole in the ozone layer. And because of that, and they had to come back through that same hole, or else they're going to create more holes. And they said, we don't want to make it look like Swiss cheese, so every time the NASA has to go up, they have to not just align the moon and the Earth just right, the hole and the ozone layer has to also be just right.
I don't know about
and I was like, man, I didn't know. I was like, this sounds like really stupid. But what do I know? I'm not a scientist. I'm just a dumb kid. I don't really care.
I don't know why you talk about ozone layer.
But that's what they were telling me.
Okay.
We were actually ruining the atmosphere because of this.
Ozone layer and the atmosphere is not synonymous, but I'm just saying the ozone layer.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. My point with that is, I don't believe everything they're telling us about how, and it's stupid. These people, these scientists, quote unquote, Fauci and boys, these kind of scientists, they make it sound like there's a dome. Like they actually sound more flat Earth than flat Earthers. It's just we're a globe Earth, but there's a solid crystallized dome over us. It's like I don't know. That's weird to me.
Well, it's not crystallized. Like
weird.
One thing you have to believe or not is there has to be something there, because if not, solar rays. Because we have electromagnetic shielding, we have pressurized shielding, because the atmosphere and the Earth itself, that's how you get storms. And those two shieldings have to be real in the sense that if not, then we're going to have to deny electromagnetics.
No, this isn't a flat Earth term. It's just science. Buoyancy.
No,
is why helium balloons go up to the sky.
I'm talking about electromagnetics. Like we have a torrid function that's protecting our Earth from solar rays. And
that's not a shield. Like you can't go, like a rocket can't pass through it because you'll hit a brick wall or something.
I'm saying there's two shieldings. There's at least electromagnetic shielding, and then there's an atmospheric shielding. And
neither of which are brick walls if you try to pass through it.
Well, the atmospheric shielding has to be somewhat closed so you can have storms.
Okay, but it's not a brick wall, so you can pass through it.
Right, of course you can, but there needs to be there has to be a velocity point. You can't say you get through it like it's nothing.
Why not?
Because then it's not a closed system.
Well, it is a closed system. You don't need an invisible glass dome over the Earth to have a closed system.
Like, how do you create a storm, like a hurricane, a storm, if there's no atmosphere?
Because when the water turns to a gas, it floats up just like a helium balloon. It's too light to go down. When it gets heavier,
that's not how storms are created.
If you're talking about a rainstorm, when the drops in the cloud get closer and closer, it gets darker and then it rains.
I'm talking about like a hurricane. Like, the idea is that you need a pressurized system. That's how hurricanes. That's why it's called pressure. The strength of a hurricane is measured by its
barometric pressure. Yep.
If you don't have an enclosed system, you're not going to have pressure. You can't contain the pressure.
It's not a glass dome.
No, it's
but
not.
it is a closed system.
But it can't.
I'm not sure what the problem is.
It can't be arbitrary. Like, there's no. It's like like a bubble, like thin as a bubble.
No, it's not. Maybe Elder. I don't know if he probably has a lot to weigh in on all this.
Like, it has to be something good enough to create real
pressure.
Yeah,
I know. I can tell you what it is. Elder's been kind of quiet too. But yeah, buoyancy. But yeah.
I don't know what buoyancy got to do with shielding.
The lighter and less dense something is, the higher it goes up.
No, I'm talking about
everything sinks to the bottom.
I'm talking about there has to be buoyancy doesn't create pressure.
Yeah, it does. That's
how
if you go under the ocean, there's pressure.
That has nothing to do with buoyancy as much as
that's actually how buoyancy works is pressure.
And I'm saying
you try to put a balloon underwater,
but when you go underwater, it's because you're an enclosed system.
That's right.
Right. That's an enclosed system.
That's right. And there's no glass dome over the ocean.
No, but the
saying, but now here's
it does become real the deeper you go.
Here's what happens. This is where it's almost like what they project was a brick wall. If you try to go really fast into the ocean, that will be like a brick wall because it's so dense. But that's not because there's a glass dome over it.
But that's because of the medium. The medium itself is a dense substance. It's called water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the atmosphere is not water.
I know. But it has a density to it. It's just that's why helium floats up, because helium is lighter than air. So air stays down here, helium goes up, and then there's other lighter gases that go up above that.
That doesn't create an enclosed pressurized system.
I think it does, and that's why water.
I don't know how.
That's why the ocean works.
You should be able to do that here in my hand. Like, if you could do it right now, if I can create a pressurized system in my hand.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Well, we can't.
I'll do it right now.
Well, I can't.
I mean, this isn't creating no pressure.
Well, I don't understand what you're even talking about. But what were you gonna say, Elder?
I'm just trying. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I've been listening, but you still kind of lost me.
I mean, the higher you go, you're going to lose the oxygen. The higher levels of atmosphere
thinner,
you go,
the higher you go,
all
until
this
it completely disappears.
The structures of what is out there, like even water, the capability of water is gone. Higher you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like there's a limit before you won't even have water.
Yep.
Right.
So
eventually you will get to the point where it is in fact space, where you have nothing out there.
Right, but there's this breaking point where you have to break through the atmosphere.
So there's a floating invisible dome above us of solid. It's actually more
it's
solid than the air below it.
He's saying it's the atmosphere that clings to our planet. When you're breaking through that atmosphere,
right,
you're changing from being in some substance of air, of atmosphere, and then you're going to pierce the veil and be in space.
There's a pressurized barrier that you have to have enough velocity to break through. It's not like physical as much as pressurized. Like, you have to have enough velocity to break through the pressure. Just like the deeper you go in the ocean, you have to have enough external strength so you don't collapse. This internal pressurized atmosphere, it's not a wall as much as just pressure. The more closer you get there, you have to have enough velocity to break through the pressure. It's not a wall as much as it's just pressure.
Is that a theory, or do you know that for a fact?
Well, that's what they tell us. Like, they have to have enough velocity.
I've heard that too,
so that they can break through the pressure of the atmosphere.
It doesn't add up.
Under the impression that they have to reach a certain velocity to break the gravity pull. I never heard anything about them piercing the atmosphere. My understanding is it just gets thinner and thinner until it disappears.
Well, if that's the case,
gravity is different. Gravity keeps pulling on you, and you got to fight that until you're beyond the pull.
Well, that's the reason. That's the reason that water stays so close to the Earth, and then air stays so close to it, because gravity is pulling. The Earth is pulling water.
Particles.
Water is most dense, so it pulls it first. Then it pulls. Air would go, but it's less dense. And then helium and all the other gases, and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter.
So that's the question. See, the reason why it doesn't make any sense theoretically is, why can't you live on Mars? Because there's no atmosphere.
That's what they tell you.
Well,
sure.
there is-
No, I'm
actually,
saying
there
just
is.
theoretically. And the reason why you can't is because there would be nothing to contain oxygen. If you don't have an atmosphere, you can't contain your gases.
I think what they probably mean is the
That's just what they say.
atmosphere there is different than the
No,
atmosphere
they
here,
say
so
there's
you can't live
basically
there.
no atmosphere, just like the moon. There's
I was gonna say,
basically
there's
no
atmosphere on the
So-
moon, but there is on Mars. It's very slight, but
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
there's basically
Grid.
so little that it can't really sustain a functional
So theoretically,
oxygenic fluidity.
theoretically, if Mars was as big as Earth, and somebody was able to transport enough water, just like Earth, and then enough oxygen there, just like on Earth, and enough, all these other gases, then they would just stick to.
No.
If it's the same
it's
size as
called-
no.
Earth,
it's called
has the
It's
same.
called terraforming.
No.
So
And-
they need a glass
and the
dome
theory
over it
is,
to hold
like
it all. is
one
what
of the
you're
they
saying.
theories
find
that they have
water.
for Mars is maybe if we drop an atomic bomb on Mars, we can create an artificial atmosphere.
That's what I just said. That you transport
Yeah.
the atmosphere there.
No, like you have
and
to-
it'll
You wouldn't
stay
have
there.
to.
No,
you would
if-
just have
if
to
you-
find you have to find the water on Mars.
But it's not the
and then
water that they're trying to say. It's the explosion, the radiation, and everything that could amalgamate into like an artificial covering.
You're talking about a dome.
Yeah, an atmosphere.
And so I don't know. That doesn't sound legitimate to me. That we can
But-
create a dome by setting a bomb.
That's,
What it sounds
that's
like
the,
is-
that's the running theory. It has nothing to do with water.
What it sounds like
Let
is,
me,
I know. The only reason I said water is if we want to make it habitable for human beings, we need to first of all grow it to Earth size. Secondly, we need to put water on there,
There's-
so it'll suck by gravity. It'll suck the water to it. You put air, oxygen on there, it'll suck it to the water, and you put other gases there that we need, and it'll suck it to those gases, and
That's
you
not-
have this thing.
that's not how it
It's not going to
works.
be. Nobody's putting this glass dome.
At least
over
what
it.
they tell us, that's not how it works.
Like if you want to leave the atmosphere of the ocean, you don't need to go fast enough to break through the ocean. You just need to be lighter or less dense than the ocean, like a balloon or a basketball, and it'll actually spit you out. But
let me play King James for a second here, if
Well,
I
it just
can.
depends on if you deplete your oxygen or not, like a submarine, or you
I have
deplete the
the
buoyancy of the air pockets.
like
like
helium. That's all you gotta do is make helium, and you'll shoot up. Like
Well, you
the
don't-
atmosphere will
in-
actually spit
in
you out
water,
like
you
a
don't.
balloon.
In water, you don't need different gases. You just fill it up with water.
I have the deets. I have the deets on Mars. Just let me read this real quick. Yes,
like
Mars
if you
has
fill
an
up
atmosphere,
packets of water,
but
and
it is
just sinks.
incredibly thin, about 100 times less dense than the Earth's, and it is mostly unbreathable. Consists of roughly 95% carbon dioxide, 3% nitrogen, and 2% argon, along with trace amounts of other gases. Because it lacks a protective ozone layer and a strong magnetic field, the surface of Mars is exposed to high levels of UV radiation, and the atmosphere is slowly being stripped away by solar winds.
And so that's
Predominantly because they don't have heavy solar shielding.
that's what I heard when I was in school. Was that it didn't have an ozone layer. Only planets with ozone layers, like Earth, could support, because this ozone layer is like this weird film substance that you can tear, and then it can't be repaired. And if you tear a hole in it, it's going to get bigger somehow. And I don't know where they came up with this idea, why it doesn't match what we also learn in science. Like, seems like science is contradicting itself. I've always thought the ozone layer thing sounded stupid, even as a kid. I was like, I still think it sounds stupid. Yeah, it's good that they're still teaching the same thing, though. At least they're consistent with that ozone layer thought. But I don't think it's a glass dome, though, that we need to blast through at 80,000 miles an hour. I think it's very easy and terrible. Well, from what I learned in school was that it's terrible.
Yeah, see,
like, you can tear it.
I haven't heard any of that. What I've always heard is that as you get closer, there's a resistance, and that resistance is gravity plus the pressure, and the vacuum of space is what creates the restriction. You can't go, like, how do you have a vacuum of space and you have no vacuum on Earth? What is that? You can't have an enclosed system and a non-enclosed system. If the space is a vacuum and the Earth is not a vacuum, what is preventing the Earth from becoming a vacuum? Nothing. It's just magic. You can't have it both ways. If space is an absolute or almost absolute vacuum, Earth is not. What is making Earth not a vacuum? It can't be nothing.
Gravity.
It has to be pretty strong.
Gravity.
Gravity doesn't make things a vacuum or not. We have gravity on Earth.
Gravity is sucking the water. And
Here it
you
is,
never
here
heard
it
of
is.
gravity. So
Gravity-
gravity is sucking the
Here-
earth,
gravity-
the water, and the air, so we can breathe air. Because
Gravity's on Earth.
oxygen is actually lighter than helium, for example. And I'm not a scientist, that's why I have to keep using just these. But there's a lot of
I'm
different
saying there's
gases out
there's
there.
a space.
But air is lighter than helium. So helium goes up, air stays down, and we can breathe this air.
Space has a mass, and gravity works on mass. Space is dark energy. Mass is a lot more than Earth. You have a vacuum of space, and then somehow there's a protective layer that's making sure the vacuum of space is not able to penetrate onto the Earth.
This almost sounds like creation science, like somebody
It's-
created
it's
this
guys-
dome around the earth.
I'm
gravity.
just saying,
Weird
if
film.
The
you
answer's
believe that
gravity.
there's
The answer is gravity. That's it.
well,
Science.
how does it work?
The Earth's atmosphere is held in place by gravity. The planet's
Yes, I know the
gravitational pull
Earth's
attracts
atmosphere is
the
held
mass
by
of-
gravity. I'm talking
attracts
about
the mass of the gas molecules, keeping them close to the surface and
Right.
preventing the atmosphere from drifting.
so you
off
have
into the
this
vacuum of space.
pressurized layer that is dense, because if it's not dense, the vacuum of space would go through.
I think it's a delicate balance. I mean,
Right. So there has to
the
be something
gravity
dense.
is keeping that atmosphere just
It has to
close
be
enough
dense
to be
enough
effective.
that the vacuum of space can't penetrate through the atmosphere.
Why?
If I have a
Why,
vacuum,
why would the vacuum of
if I have a
space penetrate?
vacuum right now and I start sucking this bag, I can suck something, but it won't break through the bag because there's at least enough structure that this bag is less powerful of the
Yeah,
pull.
we understand
of
what
the
you're
vacuum.
saying.
So
but,
if there's a vacuum of space that's almost perfect vacuum, that's a strong vacuum. That means your substance of your atmosphere has to be dense enough not to be absorbed by the vacuum of space. Assuming that space is an almost perfect vacuum, it has to be pretty strong, or it would just suck the bag.
or space is what's pushing the gravity to the planets.
If it's a vacuum, there's a separation between the vacuum and the non-vacuum. Like there has to be a bag. There has to be something preventing the vacuum of space.
I'm not
Getting
a
in.
The eagle.
I'm not an astrophysicist, but I'm pretty sure science says that space is actually what's pushing things to these. It's like this. It is a vacuum. It's like you vacuum seal a bag, but there's a rock or a ball, a super ball inside this bag that you vacuumed all the air out. So now this bag is actually pushing on this ball. And that's gravity.
Gravity works on mass. The larger mass.
That's
and So
right.
dark energy.
So if you have a big super ball in this
No, not
Ziploc bag, you
balls.
just sucked a planet. You just sucked all the air out. This bag is now compressed on this
Not
ball.
planets,
That's gravity.
something that is
so there's
more-
you have a vacuum,
something
and that's
that-
actually what's causing the
something
gravity.
that has more density and mass than planets is dark energy. Dark energy is what causes, their theory is the expansion of the universe.
I know it's a theory, and they're still studying dark
So
energy and
what?
all that.
So the whole point
but
is that
we can't
mass-
base what we're talking about on theories.
Well, this is what they say. So they're
and they disagree with these thoughts.
they say what they say.
That's why it's a theory and not a fact.
Well, it's what they say. So I'm saying is what
I
they're
know
saying.
they say it's a theory. They don't know why this stuff's working. It's not a fact. They're saying this is one
Well, it's
possible
better
theory.
than just arbitrarily saying something. But assuming that there's a vacuum, and assuming that vacuum is real, and assuming that vacuum's strong enough not to transmit auditory waves, then it would be an almost perfect vacuum, which would be the most strongest vacuum in the universe. And that's transcended amongst the whole universe. It's not our galaxy.
Hence gravity.
But gravity has to do with the mass.
That's right. So the bigger the planet, the bigger the gravity.
But it's not just planets. There's a whole space out there. What is all this space?
The bigger the mass, the bigger the planet.
Right, so all this
the
space,
bigger the gravity.
if they say space is 97% dark energy, that would be the mass. And that mass is more stronger than even your planets.
And how does this explain the ozone layer or the glass shield?
No,
that you're
what I'm
talking about
saying
that you have
is
to-
then so there's going to be a friction between this mass and this mass, and then you also have a vacuum. Assuming there's a
So what does
vacuum
that
in
have to do with
space.
the-
Assuming there's a vacuum in space.
Why does that mean we need to go extra fast to go past this
What I'm saying
glass
is,
barrier?
if there's something strong enough to make sure, like regardless of what the pull or push is, there's something here strong enough to make sure that vacuum doesn't penetrate into the Earth. Whatever that strength is, you have to have a velocity stronger than the strength of the division between a non-vacuum state to a vacuum state. And it just can't be some water balloon, like a water bubble. It has to be something strong enough to make sure the vacuum doesn't enter a non-vacuum state. It has to at least be that strong, at minimum. And, whatever that is, you have to at least be going fast enough to break through that. Like maybe the ozone layer is a plastic bag, right? You have to at least be going fast enough to get through the plastic bag. I mean, you can't say there's no plastic bag. There has to be something there that's preventing this vacuum.
Well, unless you believe in flat Earth or some creation
Well, I'm
science
saying,
or something.
even if you want to assert the ozone layer, that you're asserting there's
yeah.
some kind of plastic bag out there.
Well, this is my contention with what they taught me in school was that there's this weird film around the Earth. It's like no other planet has this weird film around it, by the way. But Earth has this weird film that contains everything.
No, there's other planets that have atmosphere, but they're containing different gases.
Right, atmospheres, right. But we're talking about a thin film called the ozone layer that contains these
I don't know. I think
things.
I'm sure
Because we need something else outside of gravity,
There's
which
probably
sounds
moons
suspicious.
out there that do.
I don't know.
Like
Maybe,
Saturn's
probably.
moons. Like,
But yeah, these films, for whatever reason, around Earth and possibly other planets out there, they're just weird protective films. It's like a condom for Earth. It's an
that's
Earth
what I'm
condom.
saying. It has to be something that is at least a substance of pressure.
And I want to know who created this Earth condom and put it on the Earth, so that way nothing can come out of it or go into it.
Well, I would think it's kind of like a diamond. It starts off as a piece of coal with enough compression. It can turn into a harder substrate, and like coal turning into something harder like a diamond, maybe through compression, massive amounts of solar and magnetic interference causes some kind of atmospheric layer through who knows how long time. But compression would be an easy solution. Most things happen because of compression.
I have some information on ozone layers
Yeah, I've been
I'd like
waiting.
to share with you. Yes, other planets have ozone layers, but they are generally much thinner and form differently than Earth's. While Earth's ozone is driven by biological oxygen production, planets like Mars and Venus create trace amounts of ozone non-biologically when sunlight breaks down atmospheric carbon dioxide.
What is
There you
how is
Science
it?
don't lie.
Right, I know we
I
learned
guess that
about this
makes
stuff in
sense.
school.
Is the ozone's layer is created by decay.
Well, one of the things I remember years ago them saying the ozone layer is in danger because we're cutting the trees down and we're not producing enough oxygen. And what'll happen is if the ozone layer breaks down, harmful radiation will come through and start causing all kinds of issues.
on the Earth.
That's
Are
what
they
we were,
are they calling the ozone layer like this film sheet of
yes.
plexiglass or whatever? Are they calling
it
it?
isn't physical. None of these things are like true, like physical substances.
Okay,
It's
so
like a
okay, so
vapor
so
or
it is
particles.
what? So it is just the basically the line between the oxygen and helium, for
No,
example.
there's substrate of particles.
So there's a
it's
film.
a substrate of particles. Yeah, that does in fact protect us.
Okay, see
from the
that
radiation.
has never set well with me. How are there particles? Because when particles get big enough, as you see with a rain cloud,
But you'll have the same issue. It's like if there's nothing that's, again, assuming space is vacuum, if there is nothing there, then what's preventing Earth becoming a vacuum?
and your assumption is that
There has to be something.
this thin layer of particles is protecting this massive vacuum from sucking everything
There has
out.
to be something.
No.
Okay, so that doesn't work either.
Gravity is keeping our atmosphere to
Yeah,
the planet.
gravity
That's
is
what I'm
holding
saying.
the atmosphere.
That's
But
simple.
what is the atmosphere?
Separately-
The atmosphere is a
separately-
substrate of particles.
And you're saying
Right,
this
right.
little tiny
Separately,
thin
there is
substrate
gravity
particles.
which is a
holding
layer
the
of
substrate
other
particles to
particles
Earth.
which
This
are
is
protecting
just-
us from. Yeah.
I
And that
think-
substrate of particles is what's preventing the pressure of space coming into Earth.
Yeah, so this massive vacuum is being held at bay by this tiny thin layer of condom. That's what's holding it.
Regardless
It
what it
is-
is, there has to be something, or you can't have a.
That's what we're believing now.
Or you wouldn't have a vacuum.
You know what, guys?
Okay.
Here, it's very simple. It's actually very simple. The
That's what I think,
planet's
yeah.
gravitational pull is keeping the atmospheric particles, vapor, everything to the Earth. As you move away and the pull of gravity begins to thin, so do the particles. But there is a balancing point where the consistent gravitational pull of the Earth holds the atmosphere at bay.
Right.
At
Mm-hmm.
some point, you will move far enough away that the atmosphere is gone and the void and vacuum of space
but
take over.
but the lower
Right.
you are, the stronger those substrates of particles are, because they're
as is-
denser. And then as
Yeah.
you go up, of course, it gets less dense. But in the beginning,
Right.
it's going to be denser and denser and denser.
That's why people say as the higher you get up, the atmosphere gets thinner, right?
Right.
Because it physically does get thinner.
Right.
Yeah, that's literally what we've been saying.
But you
what
have to,
I don't
Where's
understand.
the argument at? I don't understand. You guys
Well-
have been going back and forth for
Well, there's
half
a
an
point
hour.
you
and
have
I
to
don't
break
understand
through
what
the-
you're arguing about.
the maxims of the density. Yeah, there's a point you have to break through that.
So I'm saying I don't understand why scientists and school, I guess, is teaching us that there's not just thinner and thinner and thinner atmosphere levels. There's actually a thin layer of some kind of sheet of something, because you can poke a hole in it and it cannot be repaired. Now there's a hole in it forever. And now it's going to actually deplete because we poked a hole through this thing. So it's not just like
Actually, the ozone does replenish itself.
Well, that's
It
what
does. It
they say.
takes
That's why
time,
they try to
but
tell us not to use air condition and Freon 22 and blah,
Right,
blah, blah, because
right.
it
But it,
depletes
it can
And if you did,
theoretically
it replenish itself.
replenish.
And the
Okay.
reason why is because they believe it's a biological abstract of decay.
Right.
As plants
So-
decay, we decay, everything, it migrates
Oxygen's
and creates this ozone layer, a
Right.
biological ozone layer.
So now I want to understand how these particles are floating in midair.
Because
how
once
are they
again,
less-
Gravity is holding this layer of material around the Earth.
I
It's at
get that.
balance. It's sitting right there. It's just sitting
Right.
there, right? Okay.
I get that.
And
just like a
the
cloud.
the rays are bouncing off of it. They're not
Right.
getting through it.
Yeah, so it's just like a cloud. A cloud
Think of it as
floats.
a cloud. That's fine, but it's over the entire planet.
Right. So a cloud
Think of it as
floats.
vapor, maybe would be a better analogy.
Well, I'm just saying I'm using a cloud because once the tiny droplets in a cloud get closer and closer and they start forming bigger droplets, it turns darker, and then they fall because
That's
gravity
not
now
what this
pulls it.
material does. You
What's
know,
that?
oxygen doesn't gather together until it forms a big oxygen ball that falls to Earth. It's not moisture. Moisture does that. Moisture in cloud. That's what clouds are. They're moisture, and the moisture is drawn to each other, and that's when we have rain. This isn't
Right.
moisture. It's not vapor. It's material. It is a substance.
What is this substance that we're all
They're
hoping for
molecules.
here?
They're molecules of oxygen-3 that are sitting out there in a layer between the void of vacuum and the atmosphere and the gravitational pull.
And this
It's
is
just something that nature does. All the conditions were correct for this dome. I
Right.
guess I'm using the word dome so you visualize it. It's something covering the whole Earth.
I understand.
it-
So this
but it's-
thin layer
yeah.
of oxygen particles is
Right.
what's holding this massive vacuum of space, according to what
No.
science says.
No. You got to stop thinking about holding back the vacuum of space.
Well, that's
Nothing
what
is holding
well, I'm
back
using
the vacuum of
host's
space.
terminology, which I know that's I've heard other scientist people. I can't name names. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I've heard other Bill Nyes out there say the same thing, that that's this ozone layer is holding back this vacuum. It keeps everything contained.
Well,
it's like
picture it
that
like-
doesn't
Picture it,
jive
picture it
to
like
think about
this.
two
I mean,
different
this is
things.
the
The
simplest way
ozone
to
and
see
the
it.
atmosphere are
If
two
you got the
separate things.
vacuum out here and you got the atmosphere here,
I know.
This-
I already visualize it. I
saying-
know.
I'm saying both are being pulled, but there's a cap, almost like a bottle cap, and this bottle cap is preventing it. It's not so much that they're separate in the sense like there's going to be a suction problem. It's
Well,
like
here's
bottle
a simple
cap,
here's a
and
simple
they're both-
illustration.
Yep.
If the gravity stopped working on the Earth for any reason, the atmosphere would dissipate. It would get pulled out into the void.
Yep.
It would disappear, and we would all die.
Yep.
That's basically the situation.
Now
So we
that's
need
real
gravity to
science.
keep the atmosphere.
That's real science.
I don't know
All
if
this
I can say
ozone
it-
layers,
I don't know
jean
if I
jacket
can
stuff up
say
there
it's
is
real
some
as much
earth
as
condom.
anything
I don't know
else,
about
but-
all that either. That's earth condoms are weird to me. Unless you believe in a god who created an earth condom over the atmosphere, fine.
So
But as far as
on
science
August
is
13th,
concerned,
when August 13th and the gravity fails for 30 seconds, we're done.
Well, you can't
I
have.
forgot about
You
that.
can't have it in absolute state. You can't have it in an absolute state.
Theories.
You got me
Yeah.
there.
I mean, you can't have it in an absolute state.
What, an earth condom or?
No, any of it. Like everything, you can't have it in an absolute state because gravity only has so much pull, and
Right.
and you can't make it an infinite pull. And
Right.
the vacuum, it can only have so much force, and it can't be an infinite force.
Right.
But yeah, so it can't be in an infinite state.
It's a ballet. It's a beautifully balanced ballet, a dance of gravity holding the atmosphere in, and the vacuum of space out there wanting to pull it away, and that's all it is. I mean, I think it's miraculous. You talk about an intelligent design. This is a beautiful thing, and the most amazing thing is most of the other planets that we see don't have this, which is why Earth is like the Goldilocks
when you
planet.
said what you said, I haven't looked so much on exoplanets, but what you said, because I understand the function of an ozone layer is a decay process. That's almost like anything. Like it's called like radiation, but there's a different word for it, like for gases, like off-gassing. Like on Mars, if the sun is decaying the carbon dioxide, that decay is actually what creates an ozone, but it's an ozone layer of carbon dioxide. The
And it's very weak.
decaying
Very
of
weak.
something would create the byproduct. So on Earth, it's an upward creation of decay. There's biological material, there's off-gassing of biological material. The off-gassing is what creates this layer. On other planets, it would make sense. The limited atmosphere they have, as solar rays hit it, it's disrupting or breaking down the carbon dioxide or the methane or whatever's there, and that decaying of those gases is probably what creates their ozone layer. But it's not biological, it's more gas off-gassing. So that would make sense.
Yeah, Mars, it's one of those situations where at one point it may have, this is the theory, is it may have had active water and vegetation, which could have created an atmosphere, but it all got,
If it had vegetation,
not
I don't know
destroyed,
about
though.
water itself, but vegetation would be biological decay. If it had vegetation, then yeah, maybe it could have something like an Earth ozone. You got to
Yeah,
have some
yeah.
kind of biological decay to off gas.
but now it's just dead. Really, it's dead. It's got a very thin atmosphere, a lot of radiation hitting it,
But
and
man,
it's
see,
not
if
a
you
nice
had
place.
a biological decayed ozone, what that means is you have life.
Oh, there's theories.
Yeah,
They're still looking, but
So these condoms aren't created by some outside force.
They're
saying
created
so now
by
now we're
biological
moving
so much
right
as
now
God
we're moving
created the entire
to
universe, but
No, I'm saying you have
so
to.
now we're moving to if all you need is an atmosphere and the atmosphere itself creates the ozone layer.
No. The biologics, trees,
Yeah.
people,
trees,
humans.
So
gas,
that creates
oxygen
the
of trees
condom.
creates something
Okay.
called
Right.
Just
oxygen
make sure.
three,
Now, on other
which creates
planets,
the
they
ozone.
don't have organic material, so what they would do is their carbon dioxide or methane, when that gets decayed by solar radiation, that decaying of that gas off gases to their ozone layer, but it wouldn't be organic. It'd just be a gas-based ozone layer.
And that's going to protect the vacuum.
Well, no, it's like someplace like the moon. The moon almost has, I don't think the moon has any atmosphere.
So there could be an atmosphere without
There's nothing on the moon.
without any life and without an ozone layer, and there can be an atmosphere.
If
Even in
there-
a vacuum of space.
No, because it has to be gases. Like,
No,
you know, like
there has to
Jupiter, for
be- the
example,
conditions
is nothing
have
but a
to be
bunch of
right.
gases.
Yeah.
That's why the
Here we go.
atmosphere on Earth is so rare.
Because we have
because
biological decay.
conditions were just right.
Right, and the biological decay, according to what fifth grade teachers are saying, is that's what's creating this elastic condom-like structure over the Earth. But without that, without biological decay,
We would have an atmosphere.
and let's say you had an atmosphere,
Yeah.
but
We would
no
have-
biological decay.
we would have an ozone layer, but it wouldn't be biological, so there would be no life form.
Okay, so you can have an ozone layer without biological decay.
Right. But it wouldn't be biological, so you couldn't live here.
If
You,
we
you
managed
guys
to
don't see what's
destroy the
happening.
ozone-
You guys
Mars-
don't see what's am I going crazy?
No,
or what?
seriously.
Maybe I'm going
Mars-
crazy.
like
This is,
Mars
this, you
can
guys
have
are
an ozone-
talking out two sides of your mouths.
Mars can have an
No,
ozone
listen.
layer, but it won't be livable because it's a
One-
decaying of carbon dioxide.
One
You
of the-
want to
one of-
live somewhere like your ozone.
I'm not
layer-
talking about livable. I'm just asking because you were saying you cannot have a vacuum and an atmosphere unless you have this ozone layer.
You got to have
thing.
something restricting
So-
the byproduct.
Right. So, can you have an atmosphere
Yeah.
with no ozone layer on
Yeah.
a planet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need any protective shield in a vacuum of space, like you
Not
were
if you want
so
life.
going so hard for earlier. There's just an atmosphere used by gravity, scientific
That's it.
gravy,
That's what I've been
Yeah.
saying
and
for
there,
the
but
past hour.
there's an atmosphere, but there's no
But what-
condom
right,
protecting
what
it from the
happens is-
vast
right.
vacuum space.
What happens
Okay,
when that
so-
That's
when
the
that
condom.
happens is called a very light atmosphere.
Okay, so we're reverting on what we were saying the first hour of this whole
It's
discussion.
a very light
Okay,
atmosphere,
Thank you.
but the reason why it's light is because the breaking of gases. Now, if you have a lot of biologics, then
I know.
it's going to
I
create
know.
it
We already
faster.
covered all this. Yep.
But like Mars would have a light atmosphere because it's just decaying gases.
Okay, so just so we're all clear, we're reverting on your stance at the beginning of this whole argument
Is what?
was
I'm not
that you
reverting on
cannot have an atmosphere in the vacuum of space without a protective shield. You kept saying there needs to be a protective shield to
On
have an
Earth.
atmosphere on any planet, and then you started bringing Mars into it.
No, I was saying the reason why Mars wasn't habitable. I made that clear. They say Mars is inhabitable because the
Right.
atmosphere is not strong enough to contain
Nobody's
it.
disagreeing with
and
that.
the reason why they can't
The
contain
reason-
it is because there's not a
The
biological
reason
substrate.
we were disagreeing with you in the beginning was because you were saying
Not Earth. I'm making the argument that Earth
who
cannot.
brought Mars into it.
I said the example is that Mars doesn't have
I
a
also
strong
brought Mars into it.
atmosphere.
Because I was trying to compare Mars to Earth to show that Earth works because it has these elements, and Mars
Right,
doesn't
we-
work. Mars
look,
is
we
a
all
very
agree
dangerous
there.
place to go to.
And the
Yeah.
reason
I know
why
that.
Earth
I'm
is
actually
so-
the guy who was saying it's gravity, gravity,
No,
gravity.
it's
Yeah,
not
you were
gravity
right.
and
It's
alone.
gravity's holding the stuff.
It's not
We don't need
gravity.
an Earth condom.
It's not
Gravity's holding all
gravity
this
itself
stuff.
is not a
And
shield.
then you were saying no.
Gravity,
No,
it can't
no,
work.
It's
no,
not a
gravity
shield.
itself is not a shield.
Gravity is what
We don't need a
holds the
shield.
atmosphere.
Period. Gravity's not
You're
just
talking about
magically
two different-
stopping
you're talking
everything.
About two different things. You're really talking about two different things, and you got to separate the two of them. Ozone is not atmosphere, and atmosphere is not ozone.
Thank you.
The ozone layer
Okay.
is separate from
Thank
the
you.
atmosphere.
Yes, amen.
Atmosphere is held on the planet by gravity. Ozone is created by the trees giving off oxygen,
Now, right,
and what you were saying decay, and it creates something called oxygen 3.
right.
Oxygen 3 goes up so far and then forms a barrier, and
Mhm.
thank goodness it does, because the radiation isn't coming down and roasting us
Right.
and cooking us.
We all agree there.
That,
Good. So
my
we're all there.
friends,
We've all been
QED.
there. Right.
QED.
Yeah, so we've all been there. Now, when host was saying at the beginning
Well,
that
I don't want to go back to what host was saying, because I think there's just misunderstanding. There's
Okay,
just
well,
I
I
don't
guess
think
that's
we
fine.
were
That
all
doesn't
talking-
I don't mind.
it doesn't matter.
I don't mind.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just
it
saying
doesn't.
that
It really doesn't matter. This is just a who's right type deal now. This is stupid.
Well,
I just anybody can play it back, and you'll see what I'm
I think we
saying.
can all concede that there's atmosphere which is held in by gravity, and there's
a
layer
substrate.
of ozone which keeps out
There's
the
some kind
nasty
of protective
radiation.
bag
Yeah.
that's preventing the vacuum
I
of
don't-
space.
And that's where host was saying since the beginning. I was like, so, and this is where we're going to go back full circle again. But that's
Yeah,
what
I
I
think
was trying to
there's
say.
a
You can't.
misunderstanding.
I'll make it clear. I don't know what colleagues trying to assert. You can't have an ozone layer without an atmosphere, and it's not. There's no such thing as ozone layer by itself.
Your claim
The
is that, and I guess you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying you cannot have an atmosphere in a vacuum of space without a bag layer around it, the atmosphere.
Actually,
I was disagreeing, saying you can
I
have
think
gravity.
Yeah, I don't think you're right.
I'm not
I
saying
think
you
you
can't.
can-
You can have an atmosphere without a solid ozone. What I'm saying is on Earth, you're not going to prevent that substrate of vacuum without some kind of substrate layer preventing the vacuum, which without the atmosphere, there's not containability for the ozone.
Because you said from the beginning that Earth cannot have an atmosphere without this protective bag over, because the vacuum of space would take out all the air and everything else. The atmosphere would take out all the atmosphere because it's a vacuum.
The protective,
Without this protective bag, we can't have an atmosphere. I was like, sure we could. It's gravity.
no, you not on Earth.
On
You're
Earth, that's what we were talking about.
You can't, because the Earth's byproduct is what creates the bag. You,
See, I think the
me,
problem is you're
plants,
calling it a
we
bag.
create the bag.
It's a misnomer. I don't think I'd call it a bag. It's a layer. It's
Whatever
Fine,
you-
you
whatever
call
you
it a
wanna
layer,
care.
call it a
Not a
condom,
condom,
you can call it
it's-
whatever you want. There's
call it a layer.
something, there's a
It's the ozone layer
substrate,
of
there's a
material.
literal material particle
Yeah.
substrate
Layer
that
of
is an
material.
off-gassing of biological,
And this thin layer is what's protecting the vast vacuum of space.
right, by
That's
the
what
pool,
you believe. Okay.
and it's holding,
That's all
it's
I need to
holded
know.
in by gravity.
Right.
Okay.
Not gravity. It's actually this bag is
Gravity is
protecting
what's
it from
keeping
space.
it to Earth.
Okay, that's
Guess
what we've
what,
been saying
guys?
this whole time.
But the substrate is what's protecting the vacuum.
All right. Anyway, it's time to go. So.
It is. I was just going to say, guess what, guys? It's 7 o'clock.
I mean,
Time
you
to
can't
go.
just think that gravity by itself is a shield.
See, we're talking. You're talking about two different things. I can't. We don't have time to go into it anymore. But all I'm saying is, host, you're kind of agreeing with us, but you're agreeing with us in a different way. So yes, there's atmosphere and there's the ozone layer. They do two different things.
But you can't
But-
have one without the other on Earth.
Not on Earth. Not on
Right.
Earth. You're right. That's the Goldilocks.
Right. You can't have it
Not on
because
Earth.
the ozone on Earth is a product of a biological off-gassing.
Which keeps the solar radiation.
But you
and
can
all
have
out of-
ozone
yeah.
layers on different planets, or they don't have to be there, but they will be there because of
Mars
off-gassing
is
of different
consistent
gases.
of carbon dioxide, and
Right.
it
There'll
doesn't
be all
work
different
very
gases.
well
The
with.
only reason it works here is because we, the human, the trees, the plants, create
Biologics.
our little
Yes,
condom,
layer,
whatever you want
layer.
to call it, this substrate.
Okay, I think we're okay. I think we can leave agreeing that we're breathing. We're not being burned up. I think we're okay.
Well, I mean, it's fine.
We got air. We got air. I'm not getting roasted by solar radiation. I'm happy.
Well, that's a whole different thing. That's the electromagnetic field.
And the ozone layer.
Well, some part, but I mean, if you don't have your electromagnetic field,
Yes, I know
solar,
that's
your
part of it
coronal
too.
mass
And
injections,
the corona, yes,
they're
yes.
not. You're not going to get shielded from that.
I know, and sometimes we don't.
Right,
Sometimes
I
they're
mean,
big enough that we don't, and then it screws up
right,
electronics.
you better pray that never depletes.
Yeah, I know. Or if we get one big enough, that could be the end of the internet, which I keep.
Well, I
hoping
mean,
for,
that could
so-
happen anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's out in low Earth orbit.
Cell phones and the internet done.
That's more vulnerable than anything in the
We're going
in a
back to
terrestrial
landlines
state.
and letters.
As fun as it would be, I think the Earth would end at that point because there'd be such a mass panic. People actually did statistical things, They ran stats on this stuff. They did studies on how many people would die. I think they said like a third of the Earth would die because hospitals.
Sounds like a Thanos number. It's pretty good.
Yeah, like hospitals would. Everybody on life support would instantly die. People using for GPS, they would smash into stuff like the Tesla self-driving cars.
It would definitely be a culling.
Yeah, and then the mass panic freakouts from everybody. Everybody would freak out and start robbing and mobbing, and it would just turn into an apocalyptic event.
Unless these people had preparations for these underground bunkers, these elites.
Well, then they would be probably the 2/3 that survive, maybe 1/3.
It depends on how big of a system. I don't know what they got going on in Antarctica. Like maybe they'll have a system there where they'll shoot back satellites, and then it's like very proprietary for a select group of people that would be able to utilize that. But yeah, I would say 2/3 of the Earth would probably die.
I just want to shout out to Tommy before we leave. Yeah, I know about that, Tommy, and I agree that certain aspects could be kept up. But the point is, people wouldn't be staring and doom scrolling into their phones, especially like when they're driving.
You wouldn't be doing that.
I think society would be in a little bit better shape.
I mean, at that point, you'd be doom lifing.
People would get their heads out of their phones and they'd start living life, especially when they had to start, looking for food.
It wouldn't be life to me. That'd be misery.
Yeah, it's way out of my field, but don't fiber optic cables still work off Wi-Fi?
No. They work off...
No, they're hard lines.
Yeah, it's glass.
That's the actual hard line.
They're actually shooting...
That's why I have fiber into my house.
So let's say my house has fiber optic cables. Is it directly connected to the internet source then?
No, it's connected directly to the connective line, which then connects to the backbone, which then connects to servers, and the internet's just an amalgamation of servers.
There are layers. What Host is saying is correct. There are layers, but in a simplistic way,
it's called the OSI layers.
Your router is connected by a optical cable directly to the quote internet. It's a simple way of putting it.
It's just a glass.
Yeah, that's true.
You have multi-mode and single mode fiber optics.
Yeah, but so there's no Wi-Fi needed. Like I'm directly connected to the White House through this cable.
Wi-Fi is a convenience, man. It's just a convenience. You could run cables out of the back of your router.
I mean, DSL runs on telephone
computers right up to
it. I get that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm directly so internet losing Wi-Fi would not change anything. What about losing the internet itself?
Well, that would be only if servers got shut off.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing to do with
it was a big enough kernel.
Because if we lost electricity.
All that's getting shut off. Now, that ain't going to stop your fiber optics, but your fiber optics ain't transferring no data.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no servers to transmit anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you lose electrical
now, your fiber optics would still work. It's not frying glass. Because that's all it is. It's just literally glass.
Right, but there'd be no data going through the floor.
There'd be no data going through
so
everything would be fried.
Yeah, so you can take that and suck it, Tommy.
That's
now,
right.
again, if some magical way you had like some kind of Faraday room and some kind of magical way you could prevent it and save one of your servers, then maybe you could create your own like DNS and you'd be like one of the few internets out.
Well, we know Tommy's got a Faraday cage, man. His whole house is a Faraday cage.
It'd be localized, but I mean, at some point you might be able to get it bigger.
Yeah, that guy's got a cable on him that can feed the masses. I wish he would have called in. But
like if you had telephone lines still, they'll still be there. Now the infrastructure that connects that, probably not, like transformers, the repeaters, the routers, all that stuff would be shot. And so I don't know even if the infrastructure of the data transmission lines were there, the infrastructure to transmit your data, the repeaters, the routers, all that stuff, that's all gone. So I don't know. Even if you did, I don't even know if you could get it out. No, because the satellites be gone.
Yeah,
no, you can't even do that.
There's so much of the infrastructure would take a hit. I mean, yes, so there is a lot of infrastructure that's protected, but
even if I had my own server going on, nobody has a way to connect to it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a mess.
I mean, phones are shot. Again, like maybe if you protected it somehow and magically it didn't get blown up, but the connecting infrastructure's shot. Like maybe if you had LoRa and you saved it and somehow if you could somehow, LoRa tech that's possible. You put them in a bunker. It's a Faraday bunker, and you have multiple people with LoRa like receivers and transmitters. That bounces. They utilize the ionosphere for that, kind of like how CB radios do. You could go up to 20 miles with texting with LoRa infrastructure. And that's a wireless communication simply if the device is functional. Now that's a possibility. That doesn't require a hard infrastructure. It just your LoRa device just needs to be preserved.
I'm reading through the comments now with Tommy, and of course now it starts getting juicy right at the end now that we got to go off the air. Oh well.
Yeah, but
The problem is we forget about these subjects that we should start with the next time.
A lot of people,
let's talk about an EMP blowing out the infrastructure in the U.S. That's
honestly, to me, that's one of the best things is LoRa infrastructure. It's cheap. You can get it for like $20 on Amazon. And you can do text communication to up to 20 miles right now.
And I saw those.
And it's like, that's probably your best bet right now.
Oh, Bill was saying CB radio.
Yeah, it just depends on radios. Just depends on how many get fried, how much transmission, how much things get fried.
Well, yeah, if you have an old CB radio, if it's still running off tubes, you might be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. This is an interesting subject, and like I said, it might be worth talking about it towards the beginning next time and maybe do a little research and find out. But I think it would be an interesting thing to find out because you know what? It's not just the solar radiation. If for some reason there's any nuclear detonations, that's going to create an EMP as well, which if you don't get destroyed in the blast or die of the radiation, the EMP is going to screw up a lot of things. So,
Well, if you can protect it and you can stay inside for about 2 weeks, you'll get most of the fallout. I guess it just depends
it'll drop down. Yeah,
I guess it just depends on how close you are to the central point.
I mean, if it was New York, I don't think we'd be too bad. But if it was Philly, I think I might be in trouble.
Yeah.
It depends on the yield, too, how big of a yield it is. But, yeah, let's hope we don't live to see that, though.
Well, anyways, yeah, that was a good conversation, guys, as always. And hopefully you guys tune in this week. Colleague shows something that really triggered my brain, and you guys can tell us if it triggered yours. When I saw this entity, and it is an entity.
Which one?
There's only one. I couldn't think anymore.
I showed a lot of entities.
No, there's only one.
There's only one.
Don't tell them.
Blew all of our minds
There's
out.
one entity. It really did. Like, I couldn't think. Like, I could compute. So if that worked for you too, and you'll know because I say it.
Yeah.
If it happens to you, tell us in the comments. Like, wow, this shut down my brain.
Yeah, it's like a mass injection.
It's something. It shut it off.
Weird.
I couldn't even compute.
Nope.
It's a weird looking thing. Like, I just give it that. Like, I've never seen any. Like, somebody combined some stuff, some facials, expressions, a little human, little not. Anyways, you guys check it out.
Between the visuals and the sonic, the audio, it left me very unsettled.
Delicious.
But anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in, talking again.
You guys have a good day.
And, jump in with the questions next week a little earlier. And whatever you guys want to break it down, and we'll go into. If not, we'll talk about, is gold as a payment restricted from Goyim?
Is gold a restriction from payment from Goyim?
Or is gold actually valuable? ...
Well, that's value theory. Like, we could probably ask that about anything. Like, is love valuable?
Yes.
Love stinks. Anyway,
there's a rabbi priest out there that's trying to push the idea that Jews shouldn't be paying any goyim, or I guess anybody who's not a Jew, payment with gold.
Well, how many people pay with gold nowadays
See, that
anyway?
begs the question.
How
There's a
many
lot-
people
We're
have big
not
hats?
we're not living 2,000 years ago where it's like, hey, how many shekels for this chicken?
Yeah, well, anyways. So since we don't want to talk about the gold, you guys can bring it in earlier, or I'm going to talk about the gold.
Rock
But
on.
anyways, as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I think
Thank you,
colleague
guys.
is going to be transmigrating to
I feel like my hats keep getting smaller and smaller every week.
where you going?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to be here next week.
Yeah, you're transmigrating
Yeah.
to
What?
I'm going to Siberia.
Is it Siberia?
I'm getting shipped
Chill
out.
out.
They're expediting me.
You're gonna chill
that,
out.
that was North Macedonia.
No, that's the week after, but I'll be back in time for that one.
That's good.
All
I'll
right.
be
Anyways.
back.
But we might not
Well,
have
host,
colleague
looks
next.
like it's you and I, man.
Yeah, we might not have colleague
done the
next
ship.
week, but
You guys are gonna have a lot of fun together.
the show presses on. But anyways, I appreciate you guys as always. Tune in this Saturday for a wonderful exposition of entities, questions, and self-identity.
Don't touch that
Go
dial.
to sleep.
But as always,
Go to sleep.
I'm trying to mimic this. But as
Listen to your
always,
elders.
this fine gentleman here is colleague.
I'm colleague.
That fine gentleman there is elder,
Colleague.
That's Corona
I'm
mass
elder.
injection.
and I'm host.
And that's host.
With the
And
most.
as always, this is the Matrix Network, a subsidy of toilet time television.